Hello, everybody, and welcome to Breakfast Time with Waffle and Richard. Back here again, probably our last show before Christmas. We hope you have a great holiday if that's the case. But Waffle, tough weekend for your NFL teams, but still pretty good weekend all in all. But how was your weekend, bud?
Yeah, no, weekend was cool, but yeah, tough weekend for specifically the Tennessee Titans, but we'll get into that. But nah, weekend was good. Always enjoy the time away from work, so definitely good.
Yeah, for sure. We'll just jump right into it with the NFL. And like we said, Titans been a rough patch, had a couple of games against two very good teams in the Bengals and Eagles. But okay, you come back home for a division game, you're taking on the Jags, who have had something clicking, but you never know with the Jags. This offense is so up and down. And well, this is a week where Trevor Lawrence kind of showed you what we all thought he would be and what he did at Clemson, what he thought he could be in the NFL. So, Waff, just kind of take us through this just a tough game against the Jags, that high flying offense that just kind of came out of nowhere, it seems like, for the Jags.
Yeah, obviously a lot of I don't know what not turmoil, but like distractions maybe with Tennessee this week. Firing John Robinson last week. Going into this game, it's bound to cast a shadow, and it's bound to be a distraction for sure. Depending on whether it was the right thing or not. But Titans coming into this game, obviously, like you said, two tough games, a close one against the Bengals, and obviously getting obliterated in Philly last week. Coming into this one with a sour taste in our mouth, and coming into a division game in the AFC South that is not good. We all know that, and the Titans were well in control of it. Coming up against the Jacksonville team, who still has a chance to obviously win the division, but it's still a game that Tennessee needs to win, and a game that Tennessee was more than capable of winning. But this one did not fall our way. Final score being 36-22. It was 33-14 at one point. After it was 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. So for those of you doing math at home, that's quite a run by the Jags. 26-0 at one point. So yeah, this sucked. I hate the Jags. And my hatred is still it's been suppressed as of late because the hatred really stemmed from 2017. Like the Jags
Yeah.
had a fantastic year. They made the AFC Championship game, and Tennessee was still kind of was definitely up and coming. You could see the changes in place, but Tennessee still was trying to go from good to great. And Jacksonville was still getting in the way. At that point in time. But then over the past couple of years, Jacksonville obviously has been a dumpster fire. We know the whole Urban Meyer experience last year and blah, 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 all that stuff. So Jacksonville was kind of more of an afterthought. But I cannot stand Jacksonville. I've never liked Jacksonville. So this game hurts. But Trevor Lawrence dazzled 30 of 42, 368 yards, 3 touchdowns for him. Fantastic day. I'm not knocking Trevor Lawrence at all, but like going into this game, like that's entirely believable because the Titans' pass defense is ranked at the bottom of the league. Let's not ignore that fact. We all know that the pass defense is not great. The run defense is stellar, but pass defense is not great, and it did not help not having 4 defensive starters as well for this contest. David Long is on IR now. I think his anticipated return is going to be, I think, last week of the season against Jacksonville, possibly in the playoff game. So he's out. Jeffrey Simmons has still been playing, but has been nursing a bad ankle, and he has not looked like the same Jeffrey Simmons in the past month. And also not having Christian Fulton out there, our number 1 corner, and a few others as well. Zach Cunningham's out. So, the linebacking, both our starting linebackers are out. So, that's always tough. And it's just got a litany of injuries on defense. So going into it, I knew it was going to be a tough game and that there was a chance Jacksonville could dazzle, and they did exactly that. But just taking you through it, Tennessee started out great. 10 plays, 76 yards, 5 minutes off the clock, bang, bang, bang. Derrick Henry was on his game, 90-plus rushing yards in the first quarter. It was looking like another feast on the Jags in December game. And now credit, he did get his overall still, but Tennessee took it right down the field, capped off with a pass from Ryan Tannehill to Chig Okonkwo for a touchdown. So, excuse me, sorry. wrong thing. Derrick Henry scored a touchdown on the first drive, and then Jacksonville comes out, goes 3 and out. Tennessee gets the ball, got tons of momentum, playing at home. Derrick Henry runs left, loses a yard. Ryan Tannehill passes short left to Chig Okonkwo for 5 yards. And then one of the reasons that John Robinson got the boot is this ugly glare that we have on our offensive line. Our offensive line is not great anyway, but we have the worst offensive lineman in the league starting for us in Dennis Daly. And he gave up. He just got absolutely obliterated by number 1 pick Trayvon Walker. And Trayvon Walker hit Ryan Tannehill, made him fumble. Jacksonville recovers. So this is the start of the end. So, blown opportunity there. Jacksonville gets a short field, goes 20 yards, bang, 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 touchdown. Titans respond. 6 plays, 75 yards, capped off by a lot of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had a 50-yard run on second down, looking like vintage Derrick Henry there. And got all the way down inside the red zone, past the Chig Okonkwo, touchdown Titans, 14-7. So, things are good. They weathered the storm there. Jacksonville was forced to punt after 5 plays. So Tennessee gets the ball back, and then Ryan Tannehill. I've professed my love for Ryan Tannehill, and I do love Ryan Tannehill, but he does have the ability to dazzle you and be the best game manager there could possibly be. And then he does just the absolute most bonkers stuff you've ever seen in your life, where he anticipates this pass coming quick out to Nick Westbrook-Akina, and neither of them are on the same page, but Andrew Wingard from Jacksonville is reading Tannehill like a book and picks it off. So another short field for Jacksonville only results in a field goal on this one. So 14-10, still weathering the storm. Titans get a case of the 3 and outs. I think we lead the league in 3 and outs, which is awesome. Love Todd Downing. Why is he not fired? And then Jacksonville gets another field goal. It's a 1-point game. Titans on the next possession. Oh, this one hurt.
Yeah.
Titans run Derrick Henry up the middle, and then they get Derrick Henry off left tackle for 21 yards. That boy is feasting. And they go 1st and 10 at Jacksonville's 37-yard line. Short pass to Derrick Henry, 21 yards. I mean, Derrick Henry got absolutely obliterated.
Yes,
it's not often you see that. It's really not. And Derrick Henry is not a guy who coughs up a lot of fumbles.
No,
that's just a fact. Now, he has fumbled this year. He fumbled, but Traylon Burks recovered it. I think that was against Cincinnati. For a touchdown. Derrick Henry fumbles this time, and it's just bad luck. The ball is screaming towards the sideline, like he gets hit right on the sideline, and it's screaming towards out of bounds. But Josh Allen, the linebacker, was standing right there, that was standing right in the perfect spot, and he grabbed it, and bang, bang, another turnover. So that's 3 turnovers in the first half, and that's not a good recipe for anything. So 14-13 at this point. Jacksonville 6 plays, 78 yards, capped off by a 20-yard touchdown catch from Zay Jones from Trevor Lawrence. And Jacksonville takes the lead and absolutely never looks back from that point, never surrendering a lead, let alone only 8 more points late in garbage time. So, but we go into half and we're down 6, and this game very well could and should be 21-0. If you limit the turnovers, like Jacksonville, it's hard for them to start momentum, and it's very well 21-0 Tennessee. They're coasting at halftime. But that's just not how it goes. You lose the turnover game, most of the times you're going to lose the game. So we come out the second half. Jacksonville gets the ball first, 12 plays, 72 yards. I mean, just perfect drive all the way down. Well, it starts off with a kick return for a touchdown from Jamal Agnew, which was thankfully called back for a offensive holding. Praise God. But did it amount to anything? No. Capped off by Trevor Lawrence, 1-yard rushing touchdown, and that's 27-14. Titans go 3 plays, negative 20 yards, and punt. Are you what? That's just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Jacksonville gets the ball back, 2 minutes. Ran a 2-minute drill, didn't even have to. There's plenty of time left in the game. They're just being jerks right now. 5 plays, 63 yards, capped off by an Evan Ingram touchdown from Trevor Lawrence. Evan Ingram had a freaking day. I'll give you his stats in a minute. It's 33-14. Titans punt. Jacksonville downs. Oh, Tennessee, guess what? We had 1 more turnover in us. Derrick Henry, this goes down as a Derrick Henry fumble, and I guess rightfully so. They were trying to get cute, and Ryan Tannehill like motioned out, and Derrick Henry was on the run, expecting to grab the snap, and the snap was not great, and it was a fumble picked up by Jacksonville. So just insult to injury. Jacksonville gets a field goal. Tennessee scores a touchdown, and like I'm a big believer in it's never over till it's actually over. And Tennessee scored this touchdown, and like I'm going through scenarios in my head of like, okay, this is what we got to do. This is how we can win this game. We're not out of this. We're only down 14. Obviously, it was not enough as Jacksonville punted, and Tennessee goes 13 plays, 63 yards, and turns it over on downs. And that will do it, buddies. 36-22 final score. Few more stats for you. Jacksonville couldn't run the ball. Tennessee's run defense is still very good, but Evan Ingram, 11 catches, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns. My God, if you had him in fantasy, holy crap, playoff push. Are you kidding me? I bet that changed a lot of playoff aspirations for somebody out there. Zay Jones, 8 catches, 77 yards, and a touchdown. He's been fantastic over his past couple weeks. And yeah, so for Tennessee, Ryan Tannehill threw for 254 yards, had 2 touchdowns, had the awful interception, was sacked 4 times. Derrick Henry, 121 yards. And remember, 90 of those came in the first quarter. So obviously he got shut down, but he only had 17 carries. I think he had like 12 carries after the first quarter. So, once we start turning the ball over and get down, it's not Derrick Henry time anymore. I'm sorry. So, that sucks. He did have a touchdown. Austin Hooper, 5 catches, 68 yards to lead Tennessee. Obviously, Tennessee without Traylon Burks as well after that concussion that hit against Philadelphia last week. So that definitely didn't help. This sucked, man. 4 freaking turnovers to Jacksonville's 0. It's never a good recipe for anything. And boy, my God, if Mike Vrabel said we were at a crossroads last week, what in the hell is this? Are you ready? We're back. I think this is the first time I've mentioned this in a long time. This is the pit of eternal despair. It's back. Baby. It's back. We're here. We're 7-6. We're still probably going to make the playoffs, and we're going to get thrashed at home in the first round. And then who knows what's going to happen? I mean, people on Twitter calling for everybody's head after this game, including Mike Vrabel. Like, no, I don't think anybody's safe at this point. I mean, our owner, Amy Adams Strunk, has already swung the gavel on John Robinson. I mean, who's to say if, this just completely falls apart here at the end of the season? Like, I mean, who's to say if anybody's safe? I don't know, but it's not good. Tennessee falls to 7-6. They're still 2 games up in the division. And I'm not entirely certain of the scenarios, but I did see one out there. Like, Jacksonville's obviously the leading contender at 5-8, 2 games back. And if worst comes to worst and the Titans like lose out and Jacksonville wins like 3 of their 4 games, I think like worst case scenario, somehow Tennessee is looking at a win and end game at Jacksonville. Because if Jacksonville ends up with a 1-game better record than them going into that final game, if Tennessee wins it based on the division stuff, like if Tennessee beats Houston or something, I can't remember. But
I think if Tennessee beats Houston, because Jacksonville will have a loss to Houston earlier in the year. So that's Houston's only win. And I think the Jags during this time would beat Houston again, so that would be 1-1. And the Titans would be 2-0. So I think it would come down to that game because the Titans would be 2-0. So something like that.
But all that to say, January 8th against Jacksonville in Jacksonville could be a very big game, and I will be in attendance.
Oh, wow.
For that one. And if we lose, I am going to be in hell.
In Jacksonville.
The next step, like the pit of eternal despair is here and hell is right here. Like that's the final step.
And hell is Jacksonville, South Florida.
Hell is Jacksonville beating us to go to the playoffs, and we're sitting at home with nothing but a mid-round draft pick to show we didn't even get to go to the playoffs. That sucks. That is hell on earth. So God, I hope Tennessee can just wrap this thing up, because it doesn't take a lot for Tennessee to wrap up the division. We do play Houston twice, but I mean, they just
never know. You never
competed with the Cowboys, and they also beat us last year. I mean, who knows, Richard? This team, Tennessee, right now sucks.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I said it last week, something about Tennessee not sucking. Well, they suck. I lied. They're not great. The offense is awful. Todd Downing still has a job. It's ridiculous to me. The defense is so banged up, it's crazy. Titans are in a bad way, and they need something good to happen to them. And God, I hope it happens, but I just don't know when or what's going to happen. So the Titans, it's not great. But props to the Jags. I mean, good for them. I hate you.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Trevor Lawrence. I think, it's crazy to see what happens when, you get a real coach in there and has just the year, and this would be his rookie year technically, or is technically his rookie year. Like Evan Ingram, having a resurgence, Zay Jones having a resurgence. Jags offense starting to get going. I don't know, it's going to be too little too late. Like you said, they got to win out and have some things happen to make that January 8th game more important for the Jags, but they're still in it, because, the Texans already eliminated. The Colts are on the brink of elimination. So it's really another two-team race once again. But again, Titans, you got to put all the distractions, if there are those, put them away, and you just got to take care of business. The Texans twice, because after that, I think also you had the Cowboys in there at some point. So that's going to be a tough one.
We got the Chargers this week who are now healthy. And then obviously ending at Jacksonville. So it's definitely not a cakewalk.
Yeah, so it's tough schedule for sure to end. Jags, remember they did lose to Texans early in the year, and Texans playing good now, maybe based on Sunday, but
I saw something that, like, I can't remember what metric they went by. I don't know if it was like win percentage or what, but like the Titans, out of all 32 teams, have the easiest schedule remaining. Yeah. But it's not easy for the Titans. It never is.
No, it never is easy for the Titans.
We say it's a tough schedule. It's really not, but it's Tennessee. So
yeah. For sure.
Yeah, but so that's your Titans wrap up. We'll move on to talk about your Buffalo Bills, who hosted the New York Jets. Obviously, another big AFC East, clash. With the Bills sitting in the driver's seat at the moment, definitely needing this win. Bills able to have a really good second half and do some good things on the field. So, Richard, tell me what you saw.
Yeah, early in this game, it was typical Bills-Jets football game. It felt like just defensive battle. It was like 29 degrees. There was some snow. It was windy. First 10 drives ended in a punt of the game. Nobody could get anything going. Quentin Williams was wreaking havoc on the Bills, and the Bills, despite not having Von Miller out for the season, it was guys like Boogie Basham, Matt Milano going in there and disrupting, Zombie Knight, making him have to work. Made Mike White have to run out of the pocket, which he's not really much of a mobile guy. And got some hits on Mike White. I go for Mike White because he took some shots in this game. He
is one tough SOB. Let me tell you what.
Took one from Matt Milano. It was a Goldberg spear, is what it looked like.
Picture perfect spear.
Perfect tackle, not late at all. Mike White does come back in the game twice after getting hurt. Joe Flacco had to go out there for a couple of times, and one time we thank him because he fumbled. But looking at it, first half, just punt, all the punts going on, a couple of sacks. Bills got a great drive after a 3-play negative 9-yard drive. Buffalo had pretty decent field position, but went 9 plays, 28 yards, and just could not take advantage of it. Had the punt from their own 42. Another punt, and finally, last drive of the first half for the Bills. On 4th and 1 on their own 39, Bills try to get the Jets to jump off sides, and boy, the Jets jump off sides. About 3 guys went flying into the offensive line.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Hilarious. So it worked. Josh Allen does Josh Allen things. He scrambles around a bunch. Then finally, he finds Dawson Knox in the end zone from 24 yards out. Tyler Bass makes it. It is 7-0 going into the break. And you're thinking that might be all you need in the game like this, but then the second half, first 2 drives, both offenses wake up. Zonovan Knight heck of a game rushing for him. Runs all over the Bills on the first drive of the second half, and 10 plays, 72 yards later, and 5 minutes later, it's tied up at 7. But the Bills, a big answer. Stephon Diggs finally got going. He finally got one-on-one coverage. By the way, I need to mention Quentin Williams did have to leave the game because he got hurt, so that kind of helped out the Bills a bit because that offensive line was struggling with him. But that helped Josh Allen be able to get mobile a bit.
Yeah.
Had a penalty, a defensive pass interference penalty on Michael Carter. They got the Bills to the red zone. Then Gabe Davis gets a pass, and then finally Josh Allen just runs, scoots, and slides his way in. Take the lead 14-7. Then, of course, Michael White gets hit. Joe Flacco has to come in. He fumbles it. Greg Groot was all over the field today, or Sunday. Stepped up big for Von Miller. Like I said, needed those guys on defense to step up, especially, Trey White has been playing. Trey White did not have a good game today, but they were putting him one-on-one with some of these receivers, and Trey White coming right back from injury, kind of a questionable decision, I think, to try to put him in press man coverage in his first full game back for the Bills. So he did not have a great day, but the Bills defense picked it up when they needed to. So they get the fumble, but unfortunately, and this has been the struggle, the Bills offense in the red zone at times has just not been able to get anything going at times. Isaiah McKenzie should have had a first down catch on 3rd and 3, but he dropped it, so Bills have to kick a field goal. Defense comes out, gets a 3 and out. This is when Joe Flacco's in the game. They force Joe Flacco throw some incomplete passes, and then Bills have good field position. You think, okay, what can they do? And then they try to do a run with Josh Allen. He gets tripped up by Jordan Whitehead. And there's Jordan Whitehead. They drafted him for that reason, to keep Josh Allen contained. He contains them. Bills have to kick another field goal. Then, get a stop, but great punt by the Jets. And then it's a reverse Miami game earlier in the year. The Bills, first of all, the Bills have no clue how to run a 4-minute offense, it feels like. Because the Bills come out, you're on your own 2-yard line. Or your own 8-yard line, pardon me.
Mm-hmm.
Run Devin Singletary first. There's 8.5 minutes left, so you can run some clock here. Run Devin Singletary up the middle, get a yard. Okay. Then they try to throw a pass to Devin Singletary. He drops it. Then they try a shot to Dawson Knox, incomplete. And it's just like, why are you doing this, especially with a team with a good secondary like the Jets have?
Yeah.
Just questionable. And then punt gets blocked, and it's 20-9. Then you start sweating a bit. But Bills defense comes up big. This time it's Damar Hamlin comes in. He recovers a fumble. And the Bills get the ball back. And you're like, okay, there are 5 minutes left in the game. And they give it to James Cook. Gets nothing. Give it to Josh Allen, little pass to Stephon Diggs. He gets tackled pretty quickly. And then there's a holding penalty, a false start penalty on Roger Saffold. And then Devin Singletary runs the ball for 1 yard. So you go out there, lose 5 yards, do nothing. And it's like, still plenty of time for the Jets. Jets go quickly again at this point. Michael White is back in the game. And it's 3rd and 1 at the 9. Passes incomplete to Braxton Berrios. But you're still in a good position to be the Jets because you're down 11. So they kick a field goal, go down 8. Punt by, after an onside kick. Or excuse me, they decide not to do the onside kick. Bills get the ball back. And once again, the Bills come out throwing it. They throw it to Dawson Knox. It's C.J. Mosley. Again, great corner. Breaks it up. And so there you go. There's a 3 down or don't have to use a timeout if you're the Jets. Devin Singletary runs in the middle of timeout. Josh Allen tries to run, timeout, then you got a punt. But luckily, defense comes up because after a good punt by Sam Martin all the way to the 21-yard line, making the Jets have to drive with 53 seconds left. Luckily, Michael White's pass to McCarr incomplete. Dane Jackson gets a big breakup. Michael White's guns over Garrett Wilson's head. And then finally, A.J. Espinoza comes up big, knocks down the pass with 30 seconds left. 4 and out, turnover on downs. Bills need it out, win the game. Huge win but a lot more stressful than I think it needed to be. Bills have no rush game besides Josh Allen. Josh Allen leading rusher again, 10 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Devin Singletary had 8 carries and 39 yards, but that's it. Isaiah McKenzie had 1 carry for 7 yards. James Cook, 4 carries for 6 yards. Naheem Hines, 1 carry for 3 yards. So that it's just frustrating. Jets defense is very good, so you kind of have to get the benefit of that there, especially with Quinn Williams up front and all those guys playing out there. DJ Reed, CJ Mosley, Sauce Gardner, Jordan Whitehead. So, benefit of the doubt for that. Josh Allen, 16 of 27, 147 yards, touchdown, was sacked 3 times. But again, this was just a defensive game. Mike White, 27-44, no touchdowns, no picks, was sacked 3 times. So again, took that big hit from Matt Milano. Joe Flacco was only 1 for 3 for a yard, was also sacked once. That was that fumble. Zonovan Knight, I give it for him. He did pretty good. 17 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown. He had a solid day, especially that first drive. Garrett Wilson had a good day. 6 catches for 78 yards. Elijah Moore, 6 catches for 60 yards. He was on Trey White most of the day, 1-on-1. So, yeah, that was just a tough ask for Trey White in his first full game back to do that. And then, leading receiver for the Bills was Dawson Knox, 4 catches of 41 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs had 3 catches, 37 yards. He got most of that on 1 play. And then Gabe Davis, 3 catches, 31 yards. Isaiah McKenzie, 3 catches, 21 yards. And, it feels like this offense has been kind of slow a little bit. I mean, it's really because they kind of put their chips in the Isaiah McKenzie and Gabe Davis basket and the Dawson Knox, honestly, by paying him. And he just haven't delivered as much as you would expect. Now, Isaiah McKenzie has the last couple of weeks. This is just a tough week for him. Dawson Knox really hasn't too much, but he's been big when needed to. And then Gabe Davis has just had so many drops this year. So that's very frustrating for the Bills offense. And the last couple of weeks, this Bills offense has been kind of stagnant, kind of just going through the motions a bit. They've won the games, but they've just kind of been stagnant a bit. And that's kind of scary when you have the Miami Dolphins, who, again, last couple of weeks offense hasn't looked great, but all the talent they have. And a game you might have to play catch up with next week. But it's very interesting to see what happens with the Bills and Dolphins next week. Defensively, Matt Milano, that's your defensive MVP this year. He had 9 tackles, a tackle for loss, 2 pass breakups that hit on Mike White. Taron Johnson had a good game. Tremaine Edmonds had a good game. That secondary's finally healthy too, and that's been a big help for the Bills getting all those guys back. And Trey White can hopefully, maybe they try to adjust with him a little bit this week, and Trey White can get back to full form by the end of the season. No worries on the defensive end, but frustrating with the offense a little bit. But, hey, win's a win, especially over a division rival, and you get some space between you and the Dolphins thanks to their game on Sunday night.
Yeah, for sure. Bills offense obviously not looking like the normal Bills offense, but played a good defense. And Sauce Gardner is a home run draft pick.
Oh, yeah.
He's so good. Just limiting this receiving core of Diggs, Davis, and McKenzie, and limiting Diggs to 3 catches, Davis to 3 catches, and McKenzie had 1, or 1 or 2 catches.
He had 1.
Had 1, so
3 catches. 21 yards.
3. Sorry. Limiting them to 9 catches and Josh Allen to only like 100
yards.
140, sub 150 yards. So, he's been great. The defense played great, but obviously Jets wasn't able to overcome the Bills defense. But like you said, a win's a win. You'll take it, especially in a division, or I guess a division rival, and it puts you 2 games up on the division now, with 5 games to play. So definitely in a good spot if you're the Bills. Some kinks to work out on offense, but you're not going to be playing a defense like that every week. So
yeah. Again, like Dolphins defense, I don't think is as great going ahead, but that Dolphins offense gets rolling again. You're going to have to look for that. So
right,
that's going to be tough.
All righty, so we'll head into the rest of the NFL from last past week. We'll start with Thursday night football, and I just want to say one thing about this. Baker Mayfield, Carolina Panther on Monday, waived by the Panthers on Monday, game-winning drive led for the Rams on Thursday. What a week for Baker Mayfield.
Real. Man's looking at the playbook on the plane coming back
Yeah.
with Sean McVay that
Amazing.
Tuesday, and goes out, leads a 98-yard drive to win it. They got helped by the Raiders. Had two of the stupidest penalties on that drive too, but still, for Baker Mayfield to go out there and get them back into this game after it looked like it was going to be a blowout, 16-3,
Yeah.
and then to win it, that's big for Baker, and that's got to hurt if you're the Raiders, because once again, you let Bisaccia walk, and I don't think a Bisaccia-led team that's healthy does this, honestly.
Yeah, no, I feel that. But a heck of a win for the Rams. They desperately needed it. Doesn't really matter. They're 4-9, but just a great story for Baker Mayfield, a guy that I've always liked Baker Mayfield, and I've wanted to see him succeed. And for all intents and purposes, he has been a pretty good quarterback. I mean, you think about what he did in Cleveland, obviously coming out and having a really good rookie season. He did regress a little bit, but he took that team who was freaking 0-16 and then 1-15 in consecutive years, and took them to a playoff game, and where they were able to beat one of their biggest rivals, Pittsburgh Steelers, and not only beat them but obliterate them in a playoff game. And then obviously things happen and he gets hurt and plays through it, which is detrimental towards him, and he gets waived once they get Deshaun Watson, and he's kind of bouncing around now. But I mean, he's found it right now with the Rams, and things are looking good, so props to them. Los Angeles is still so freaking hurt. It's unreal. But Cam Akers, 12 carries, 42 yards, and a touchdown for him. He also had one catch for 1 yard. But Ben Skowronek is the leading receiver.
Yeah. Like this wasn't Baker Mayfield with like Cooper Kupp and like OBJ if he was on there last year. This is not a healthy Rams team that did this either. This was Isle of Misfit Toys Rams team.
Van Jefferson, game-winning touchdown catch from Baker Mayfield. He had 2 catches, 44 yards, and a touchdown. So props to them. And then the defense was able to hold Vegas. I mean, Devontae Adams only had 3 catches, 71 yards total, and Josh Jacobs had 99 rushing yards and a touchdown. So still solid day for him. But Derek Carr was not good. 11 of 20, 137 yards, and no touchdowns, 2 picks. So definitely not a great day.
I think at the end, I saw something. He went 0 for 7 in the second half, or like 1 for 7. So he went something horrible in the second half passing for like 9 yards or something. So Los Angeles locked him down for sure in the second half.
Moving on, Bengals Browns, big AFC North matchup. Browns are still record's not great. It's 5-7, but obviously Deshaun Watson is playing now, so definitely must watch TV to see how that goes. And the Bengals come away with a hard fought win, 23-10. Very not much offensive firepower, or at least not as much as we have been seeing out of the Bengals. Browns did a good job limiting them, but Joe Burrow was 18 of 33, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Joe Mixon had 96 yards on the ground. Jamar Chase, 10 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Nobody else on the Bengals had more than 2 receptions. So Jamar Chase, obviously main target there. They're also T. Higgins is hurt. So no surprise that Jamar Chase is hogging all the catches. But big game from Donovan Peoples-Jones for Cleveland. Had 8 catches, 114 yards for him. David Njoku was 7 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown. But they really limited Nick Chubb, 14 carries, 34 yards, no rushing touchdowns for Chubb, no touchdowns at all. So props to the Bengals defense. They stepped up for sure. And Evan McPherson drilling field goals, 3 of them. And so Bengals get a hard-fought win against the Browns. Oh, Deshaun Watson, 26 of 42, 276 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. So more flashier stats than last week, but still Browns just not able to get it done. Bengals defense stepped up.
Bengals defense stepped up. For the Browns, that touchdown pass by Watson came in the third quarter, and that is a streak of 6 quarters without an offensive touchdown for the Browns, which is crazy because, I mean, they had all non-offensive touchdowns in that win over the Texans last week. Not what they really expected to get going. I think the Browns, when they picked up Deshaun Watson. So, that's going to have to pick it up for sure. I think toward the end of the year, if Browns have any chance at a push, I mean, with the Bengals and Ravens at the top of this division, it's going to be tough to try to get a playoff spot at this point. But if you want to make a push, you're going to have to get that offense to pick up now.
Yeah, no doubt. This game was dumb. So stupid. Houston 1-10 and 1 Houston going to 10-2, or excuse me. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. 1-10 and 1, 9-3 Dallas. At Dallas, and boy, was this a dogfight. And Dallas had to score 10 points in the fourth quarter to Houston 0 to win this game. Houston came out with a mixed bag of Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills. Oh, double trouble. And they played pretty well. Jeff Driscoll was 4 of 6, 38 yards and a touchdown. His freaking QB ratings through the roof. It's 123. Davis Mills was 16 of 21, efficient for 175 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. But Houston put up a freaking dogfight, scored 20 points in the first half, was up 20-17 at halftime, was up 23-17 going into the fourth quarter, and Dallas was able to score 10 points in the fourth quarter and overcome it to avoid an awful loss for a Dallas team that is really good and has high aspirations this year. But Dak Prescott, 284 yards, a touchdown, 2 picks for him. One of them was awful and really should have kind of been the deciding factor there at the end of the game. But
for sure.
Yeah. The Houston goes for it. Don't really, I mean,
I think it's one of those with Jeff Driscoll that's been
really
to play, honestly, because I think Jeff Driscoll's only been there kind of like Baker Mayfield a couple of days. And I think Jeff Driscoll, I think it was supposed to be a dive up to the left, and he went to the right and all of a sudden it turned to a QB sweep, and it was like, okay, and there was no one to block for him because the offensive line went one way and he went the other way. So disappointing if you're the Texans to have it, and of course, props to the Cowboys. I think they had no timeouts at this point. They may have had one timeout. Oh, they did have timeout. They had all their timeouts, so that helped them out. But
yeah, they went 11 plays, 98 yards, and 2 minutes 39 seconds to win the game. So big time drive.
Yeah. Then at the end, of course, you just have to chuck it up if you're the Texans. Since you're down by 4, again, if you kick the field goal there, you go up by 6. Who's to say maybe that turns out differently for you? And then maybe 27-26 if Dallas scores, you have a chance to kick the field goal at the very end with Kaimi Fairbairn, who had a good day. But I mean, I kind of get going for it there too, but I kind of understand, not. I think Texans, you're not doing anything this postseason, so why not go for it?
Yeah, no. I mean, if they kick the field goal, they're up 6. I mean, if Dallas goes 98 yards again, it's the same result. They lose by 1. But so props to Houston. Dallas, you avoided one there, but Dallas does move to 10-3. So speaking of now 10-3 teams, we'll go to Minnesota. Minnesota playing at the Lions. The Lions were favored. Vegas just knows. I don't know what it is. But they just know the Lions come away with the victory 34-23, keeping their hopes alive, I believe, for a playoff spot or to possibly win the division, which is crazy. But they're still alive. Jared Goff, fantastic game from Jared Goff, 330 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And DJ Chark, 6 catches, 94 yards and a touchdown. Shout out Jameson Williams coming off that ACL injury in the national title game for Alabama. His first NFL catch is a 41-yard touchdown. I don't think he could have been any more wide open. I could have caught the ball. Props to him. Nice to see him and getting his in the league, at least for his first catch. But the Justin Jefferson had the absolutely quietest 223-yard game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, like on Red Zone, they were like, "Oh, he hasn't had much today," and it was like 107 yards. Like, not had much. Not had much.
He did not score a touchdown, but had 11 catches for 223 yards. I'm feasting on this Lions defense. But
Lions just said, listen, you just get yours, but once you get to that end zone, you got to find somebody else, I guess. So.
Right. Dalvin Cook held to another kind of depressing day, 15 carries, 23 yards. There was nothing doing on the ground for Minnesota. Kirk Cousins, 31-41, 425 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's a freaking day.
Yeah.
And you lost by 11.
Yeah.
That's Kirk Cousins, baby. That's it. That's all it is.
But this game's at 1:00, so I don't understand how. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, the Lions didn't get the daytime memo, so
exactly. Maybe because it was inside, he couldn't
yes,
see
I was
what.
about to say
They don't
that.
have
It's because
windows
it's
at Ford
inside.
Field, so they couldn't.
They don't have. Kirk Cousins thought it was nighttime,
Yeah.
and he still went off, but he was like, "I'm just not going to do enough to win. I'm just going
There
to
you
go
go.
off."
Yeah.
But yeah, heck of a day for the Lions. They moved to 6-7, so definitely an improvement from last year. Still like Dan Campbell, and there was a point in the season where people were really on Dan Campbell, and he could have possibly been on the hot seat. But I think he's has turned it around here lately and is doing a really good job. So
Lions last 4 games, 3 of them on the road, so that's going to be very difficult. We got the Jets this weekend, which is going to be tough, but then they have the Panthers, the Bears, and the Packers. Panthers might be a little tough based on this weekend. But Bears and Packers, I think they have a chance to win. They have a chance to win all 4 of those games, finish 10-7 in the playoffs. So
yeah, I think they're all definitely winnable games. Are they going to win them all? I don't think so.
yeah,
But I mean, you come out in the Lions' strong suit is their offense. They're about to face a really good defense in the Jets this week. So, but then playing the Bears and the Packers again, both those teams suck.
yeah,
I mean, it is favorable for them down the stretch, but
yeah. Have to see what happens. So
next game, the 11-1 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 7-4-1 New York Giants in New York. And this was just all Eagles. Once again, the Eagles are freaking putting on a freaking show. Jalen Hurts is unbelievable. 217 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had 77 rushing yards and a touchdown. Miles Sanders had 144 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Huge day for him. A.J. Brown got his again. 4 catches, 70 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 5 catches, 64 yards and a touchdown. Their offense is a juggernaut. It's so freaking good. And New York, the Giants had no answer. Saquon Barkley was 9 carries, 28 yards, no touchdowns on the ground for him. No touchdowns at all. And that was mostly probably due to the fact that they got down early and they got down fast and early. So didn't really want to go to the run game, but Daniel Jones couldn't back it up. 169 yards and a touchdown for him. That's all he had. So Eagles putting on a clinic. They're freaking 12-1. They're the best team in the league.
yeah, for sure. I think Jalen Hurts is your MVP. Right now, he is playing out of his mind. I mean, you could say that about A.J. Brown probably, but since it's a quarterback award for the most part, if you're going with a quarterback, Jalen Hurts is your MVP.
Yeah,
I think right now. Giants started off. Remember, they started off 6-1, and they have been 1-4-1 since then. Schedule's not friendly to them. They have 3 away games too in the last 4 weeks, and they have to go to Washington this week again, go to Minnesota. They host the Colts, and then they go to Philadelphia. So there's one game there that you're thinking you could win. Go ahead and put as a win in the Colts, but you never know which Colts team you're going to get with Jeff Saturday as their coach. So, this could be a tough, horrific collapse by the Giants to end the season after starting off so hot.
Yeah, no doubt. It's they had a promising start, but now they're kind of coming back down to earth. I still think Brian Dable's done a very good job turning this team around and getting them to buy into him. So good for them. But yeah, it's not favorable down the stretch.
Yeah.
Another AFC North clash, the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ravens without Lamar Jackson, so that made this a much closer game than it probably should have been. But for Baltimore, they get the win 16-14. Tyler Huntley playing QB for the Ravens, 8 of 12, 88 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Had 31 yards on the ground. J.K. Dobbins back from injury. Good to see him back. He had 120 yards and a touchdown. He was on fire. And the Ravens receiving core, who cares? The Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett
gets hurt.
Sad. Throws one pass, gets a concussion, out for the rest of the game. So he finishes obviously 0 of 1. And Mitch Trubisky comes in 22 of 30, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, which that all sounds great, but then you throw in 3 interceptions and that's not awesome. So Najee Harris, 12 carries, 33 yards. They cannot get him going, which is unfortunate. I think he's a very good running back. He does have a touchdown and he has 2 catches. And Deontay Johnson, the leading receiver for the Steelers, 6 catches, 82 yards. So sloppy game. Two kind of sloppy performances, but Baltimore comes away with a win and they keep building. They're 9-4. Still sitting, I believe, first in the AFC North right now. So props to them. Steelers are a mess. Mike Tomlin, he's got to win out to get a winning season.
Yeah.
If he loses one more game, this will be his first losing season as the coach of the Steelers, which is wild, but totally believable this year with what they're going through with injuries and who's on their team now. So
yeah, this was a game that I feel like I saw on Red Zone. Every time I checked in, something was happening, which was wild. Like it was either turnover, injury, big hit. Like Tyler Huntley got hurt at one point. Anthony Brown was the quarterback for the Ravens for a spell. It was an ugly game, but like we said, you have to win ugly games for a good team, and I think the Ravens, found a way to do that late. I hate it for Kenny Pickett because I love Kenny Pickett. I love to watch him in the pit. Hopefully, he's okay. He can go this week, if not, understandable. Yeah, back to Mitchell Trubisky. That's going to be tough for the Steelers. Again, down the stretch, like I said, they have to win out to get that winning season, and then I don't think Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat. I think it's kind of understandable with the injuries, but it's been a tough couple of years in Pittsburgh, and now, of course, having to find your way without, a star quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. Kansas City at Denver. This game was 27-0 Kansas City. Looked to be the Chiefs' big day. Broncos still sucking it up, and I'll be danged that the Broncos didn't almost come back and win it. 34-28 final score. Chiefs win. But obviously the biggest thing here, Russell Wilson gets hurt. Looks like he could likely be out for the rest of the season, which obviously sucks. You don't ever want to see anybody get injured, but let's not pretend like he was having a good year. It was not going great. He did finish 23 of 36 for 247 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick on the day. So a very good day. He was also their leading rusher with 57 yards. Jerry Jeudy went God mode there for a minute. 8 catches, 73 yards, but 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Absolutely just killing it. I find this funny that Marlon Mack, former Colts running back, who's now a Bronco, had 2 catches for 62 yards, but his longest reception was 66 yards. So the other one, he obviously lost 4 yards. So I just think that's funny. Leading receiver for Kansas City was Jerick McKinnon, 7 catches, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns for him. What a day. Juju Smith-Schuster, 9 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. Massive days for both of them. And then Isaiah Pacheco, I think that's how you say his name. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. But 13 carries, 70 yards for the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes, 28 of 42, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. Broncos defense was getting to him a little bit. And Broncos started mounting a frivolous comeback there towards the end. It was 27-0. And then by halftime, it was 27-14. Broncos came out and scored a touchdown to start the second half. It's 27-21. Then we exchanged some punts. Chiefs finally break through, score a touchdown. Broncos go 12 plays, 75 yards, score a touchdown to bring us to our final score of 34-28. But the Chiefs punted, Broncos punted, Patrick Mahomes threw an interception, and then immediately followed up by a what's his first name? Bryce. Brett Rippon interception. So that sealed this game after the Chiefs ran out the clock. So good fight from the Broncos. Tough to see Russell Wilson go down in what is a lost season. I mean, they're 3-10 now.
They've been eliminated from the playoffs officially. So I mean, I would not be surprised if they just go, you know what? Let's put Russ on the shelf and just play the rest of the season out and see if we can.
Yeah. Well, I would not be surprised if Nathaniel Hackett gets fired as well.
Yeah.
So
this is again when that trade broke. We had Russell Wilson going to Denver. You're like, man, the AFC West is going to be wild. And boy, I mean, the Raiders are disappointed. The Broncos have been just horrible. And Nathaniel Hackett looks like he's not ready for this job. And again, would not be surprised if Denver said, "Yep, nope, this is done. You're done."
Yeah. Yep. We'll move on. Bucks at 49ers. 49ers are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. And there's only a couple things I'm going to say about this game. And all I'm going to say is 1, Tom Brady is washed. And 2, You said Jalen Hurts is MVP. Brock Purdy is your MVP.
After 2 weeks is already up there.
Yeah, a freaking 16
He's
to 21
offensive rookie of the year after 2 games.
Yeah, 16 to 21, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, a quarterback rate, a passer rating of 134, a QB rating of 92.8. That's on a 0 to 100 scale, mind you.
Yeah.
Great day from him. Christian McCaffrey, the midseason acquisition from Carolina, 14 carries, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Absolutely feasting out here. Deebo Samuel had 4 carries, 21 yards, and a rushing touchdown, and had 4 catches, 43 yards. Deebo does go down hurt, though, so that will obviously hurt the 49ers there. It looks like it's like an ankle sprain, so who knows how long that's going to hamper him. But freaking San Francisco, 35-7, the final. I mean, absolutely obliterated Tom Brady and the Bucs. This defense is obviously elite. They're great. Brock Purdy coming in doing a fantastic job. And they got freaking weapons, man. They look great. They're 9-4. They're hot. They're as hot as anybody in the league.
Yeah, for sure. Again, this is another one of those where, you make the jokes about Tom Brady coming out just to have this happen to him out of retirement. And, San Francisco, that defense has been nasty all season long. And Brock Purdy gone from Mr. Irrelevant to being, probably might be the rookie of the year after 2 games, which is wild to think about. Again, tough injuries bug for the 49ers. We know if their first 2 quarterbacks go down, Brock Purdy's picked it up and has done very well. I also do want to say, though, because, this man has witchcraft or something on his side. Tom Brady, this is the 4th worst loss of his career. The other 3, those years he had him, he went on to win the Super Bowl. So because this man has witchcraft or some powers, the Bucs are going to go 8-9, win the South, and win the Super Bowl. I'm going to hate life. Probably beat the Bills in the process too, because of course I can't have nice things.
Right.
But hopefully our saviors are in Charlotte, because that's what I'm pulling for, is for the
please.
Is the Carolina Panthers win this division.
Yeah, so Panthers have some momentum. They got a big win. We move on. Panthers at Seahawks. Panthers going all the way to Seattle and coming out with a win at the 12th man is a heck of a performance. The Seahawks having a similar fall from grace as the Tennessee Titans, it seems. They have lost. They're 1-3 in their last 4 games, and those 3 losses have all been by less than 1 score. So, not great there. They've been in every game, but they can't figure out how to win here lately. And the Panthers did a great job on Sunday. Sam Darnold getting the start, 14-24, 120 yards and a touchdown. The ground game, dual running backs, Chuba Hubbard, 14 carries, 74 yards and a touchdown, and then Dante Foreman, 21 carries, 74 yards for him as well. 223 rushing yards for Carolina. Great day on the ground for them. Geno Smith starting to kind of come back down to earth a little bit after starting off so hot this year. 21-36, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks for him. So, and no rushing game, no rushing attack from Seattle, 46 total rushing yards. Not great. Carolina gets a big win because even at 5-8, they're right there. They're 1 game back of the NFC South title.
Now, Panthers have won 3 of their last 4, only lost them to the Ravens, 13-3. They have the Steelers this week, maybe without Kenny Pickett. Have the Lions, that's probably their toughest game left. Yeah. Go to the Bucs. They've already beaten the Bucs once, 21-3, and then they got to play the Saints. If they win 3 of those last 4, I think they can win the division.
Yeah.
And they would be 8-9.
Wow.
If they win out, they win the division for sure. I'm pretty sure. But I think they can, if they win 3 of those 4 and they win all 3 and they win those 2 division games, they win the division.
Isn't it beautiful?
No. And then they'll probably host either the Cowboys or the Eagles. And God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They're hosting the second place team in the NFC East. So it's not going to end pretty, but hey, you fired Matt Rule. You won the South somehow. Things are looking up in Charlotte.
Yeah. And we'll finally moving on to Sunday Night Football. The Dolphins and the Chargers primetime matchup. Chargers getting a little bit more healthy. 2 dynamic offenses duking it out. Final score was 23-17, so maybe not as many fireworks as we thought we were going to see. But Justin Herbert dazzled 39 of 51, 367 yards, only one touchdown for him, though. Eckler had 45 yards rushing. Mike Williams, 6 catches, 116 yards and a touchdown. Welcome back. He caught all 6 of his targets. Keenan Allen, 12 catches, 92 yards, just eating them up. And then Eckler out of the backfield, 8 catches, 59 yards for him. So great day for the Chargers. As far as Miami on offense, not so much. 10 of 28, 145 yards and a touchdown was Tua. He did not have a great day. Running game was nowhere to be found. Jeff Wilson also got injured. That does not help for sure. And then, let's see, Tyreek Hill, 4 catches, 81 yards, and then a touchdown. Had a 60-yard touchdown. Also had the crazy fumble recovery for a touchdown, which was absolutely wild. But, yeah, so not an amazing day for the Dolphins on offense. So,
yeah, Dolphins last 2 weeks. Against the 49ers with that good defense, and other than that first play of the game, struggled on offense, struggled against the Chargers off defense as well. So Bills defense finally getting healthy. Hopefully that's a good sign that, for the Bills this weekend coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. And we'll move on to the last game, Monday Night Football, Patriots Cardinals. Yawn.
It was
Patriots.
weird.
Yeah, Patriots get the win, 27-13. Cardinals biggest biggest storyline. Kyler Murray done for the year, tears his ACL in this game. So you always hate to see somebody go down like that. But Cardinals are now 4-9 after this loss. So, things not looking great there. Cliff Kingsbury most likely on the hot seat. But Colt McCoy comes in, has a decent day, 27 of 40, 246 yards, no touchdowns, a pick. James Conner had 85 yards on the ground and a touchdown, and D Hop had 7 catches, 79 yards for Arizona. And then for New England, Mac Jones, 24 of 35, 235 yards, no touchdowns, had a pick. And Pierre Strong Jr. had 5 carries, 70 yards for New England and a touchdown. And then Kevin Harris, the former South Carolina Gamecock, gets his first NFL touchdown, 8 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown for him. So props to Kevin Harris. And this game was just kind of a snoozer. Patriots pull away in the second half, scoring 17 unanswered and get the win.
Yeah, this is a game, Kyler Murray gets hurt and hope, he's out for the year. So that's disappointing for the Cardinals. And I've got to wonder if this is it for Cliff Kingsbury, because, again, this, like he did Texas Tech, start off hot and fall apart this year. It's just kind of been a cycle of just not getting anything going. And
right,
pay Kyler Murray all that money and, get new cop. You knew it was going to be rough about new Cobb's first couple of games because of his suspension. But, you get him back, you think, okay, maybe stuff's going to get going, and it just hasn't. So disappointing again for the Cardinals. Not eliminated yet because of how wild the NFC West is, but I feel like, it's just kind of, you're just delaying the inevitable if you're the Cardinals. So hopefully, hopefully Kyler Murray rebounds next year and does better. Then, Patriots defense still very good. I think I mentioned that last week when we talked about the Bills game against them. They're starting to find their offense a bit. I know Mac Jones hasn't really wowed anybody, but they're getting something going with what they have. Yeah. And, Bill Belichick's always good at that, but it's just taking a lot longer because he doesn't have a generational quarterback. Now he has got to get Mac Jones trained up a bit. So Patriots, I think, are going to be a scary team down the stretch, and they play a lot of division games down the stretch, so they could find their way into the playoffs as well.
Yeah, no doubt. So that wraps up talking about last week. A lot of teams were on bye last week. The Falcons, Bears, Packers, Colts, Saints, and the Commanders all on byes, but bye weeks are over now, so we move into week 15. Everybody's playing. So it starts with Thursday night. A decent matchup. Actually, a pretty good matchup.
Yeah.
The red-hot 49ers going on the road to Seattle in the 12th man. 49ers are a 3.5-point favorite. Should be an exciting one up there as Al Michaels gets to bless our eardrums with his beautiful voice.
Yeah, there we go. It's going to be a fun one, I think, for sure. I don't think anybody had Geno Smith versus Brock Purdy as one of the best games of the year at the beginning of the year. So
I definitely did not.
Yeah, could be a good one. Going to be interesting to see how Brock Purdy. This is his first road game too, and he has to go into the Lions in Seattle. So it's going to be a tough one.
Week 15 marks the start of NFL having games on Saturday to fill our football void now that college football is not quite over, but not as consistent on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So we start with the Colts and the Vikings in Minnesota. Minnesota's a 4-point favorite. Colts 4-8-1 on the year. I think they're on the verge of being eliminated from total playoff contention. So we'll see how it goes here. But the Vikings desperately want to bounce back from that loss. Against Detroit. So I'm looking for the Vikings to probably have a pretty big day, and it's 1:00 and they're at home, so Kirk knows what time it is, so he'll probably play good enough to win.
Yeah, I think no, Vikings should win this one. Again, Colts have been very weird with Jeff Saturday. Like I said, they beat the Raiders, almost beat the Eagles, and they get smacked last week before their bye week. So weird. They're a weird team under Jeff Saturday. See, what the bye week did for them if they can get healthy. Again, like I said, AFC South still wide open right now. I know the Colts are kind of on the verge of being eliminated, but they get on a run. They have a slim shot, but they have a chance to make some noise. But it's going to be very tough, and doesn't help when you have to go on the road to Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure. Also Ravens at 4:30. All these games on Saturday on NFL Network, by the way. 4:30 Ravens at Browns. Lamar Jackson still questionable, so Cleveland is a 2.5-point favorite for this one. Tickets are as low as $11. Good God, nobody wants to watch that. Apparently. But yeah, Ravens at Browns. Ravens looking to stay atop the AFC North with the Bengals right on their heels. So should be an interesting one. To be interested to see, can Deshaun Watson keep building and find his form again, and see how good he can make this Browns team down the stretch.
Yeah, over under 38.5. Not expecting a whole lot of offense in this one with the two pretty good defenses. Guy you have to get going, I think, is Amari Cooper for the Browns. He's been quietly a very good receiver this season. He caught that touchdown pass, I believe, or no, Njoku did. Njoku started to get going a little bit too. So, yeah, Browns, again, you just have to stay alive right now because of how tough the AFC is overall, how tough the AFC North is. And this is what you expected when Deshaun Watson got off his suspension, was he's going to have to come in and try to make a run late in the year. So going to have to get that, like I said, going to have to get that offense going. Can't wait till the third quarter to score a touchdown, because even against the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, this is still a very good team.
Yeah. Going to be a crisp 36 degrees in Cleveland. So very cold battle there. We move on to prime time, 8:15, big time matchup. Dolphins at 8-5 at Buffalo, who is 10-3. Going to be a crisp 32.
And snowing.
Buffalo and snowing. Buffalo a 7.5-point favorite. Most likely, I would say the weather is attributing to that as well. But yeah, this one should be good. Richard, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about last time they played. The Bills went down there at the end of September. It was 99 degrees, I think, and sunny, humid, hot on the field. And, lots changed since then for both teams. And now, of course, we had the complete opposite, where it's snowing, 32 degrees is Buffalo Bills football weather. That crowd is going to be electric because the Bills past few years, and everybody talks about Tom Brady and the Patriots. This is the biggest rivalry for the Bills. The Bills and the Dolphins, they hate each other. This is a big rivalry game, and especially now, after the last meeting went the way it did, the Bills are wanting to get revenge and again widen that lead in the AFC East. Like I said, Tua's been struggling, but so has the Bills' offense been a bit. And again, if the snow is a factor, if it does snow, I think I've seen somewhere where it's going to be kind of like Sunday, where it's like a light snow. Some I've seen where it's going to be 2 inches of snow. So it's going to be impactful in the game. So someone's going to have to get a rush game going. And it's going to be interesting to see if the Bills can try to get that, because you're not going to be able to sling it 40 times with Josh Allen. Tua's not going to be able to sling it to Tyreek Hill a lot, but you can run Tyreek Hill as a running back. You saw the Chiefs do that a lot. So we'll be interested to see if the Dolphins can do that. See how the Dolphins handled the weather, and also, of course, see how what the Bills do and the road crowd. Bills also wearing the Color Rush all red uniforms, so it's going to be beautiful out there. Dolphins probably going to be wearing the all white, so it's going to look amazing on TV. Going to be a lot of fun, man. Electric atmosphere. I cannot wait for this one. Crazy game. big time implications. And this is a primetime Saturday night. This is the games you dream of if you're an NFL fan and if you're an NFL player. And Bills have done good on like 9 Sundays. Like Josh Allen's undefeated on Thursday night, and I think on Saturday night, I'm pretty sure he's 2-0 too. So Bills have done good, and these kind of are 2-1. I think he won the AFC divisional games on a Saturday last year, so against the Chiefs. But other than that, this is going to be a fun matchup, rowdy crowd. And again, hopefully the Bills defense, now they're fully healthy, can slow down Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, and all those weapons.
Yeah. Should be a great game. I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah.
Move on to Sunday. Eagles at Bears. Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah. Eagles not favorites.
Yeah, 9-point favorites, but I mean, Justin Fields makes this interesting.
That's true. Yeah.
So I mean, I'll be interested to see what he can do against this Eagles defense that has been very good. But yeah, it's looking like it's heavily in favor of the Eagles here. So
yeah.
Also 1 o'clock Falcons Saints. It sucks on paper, but it means a lot.
The Saints fall to 4-10. They might still be alive, but someone gets a leg up on that division race for sure in this one. These two teams hate each other. So
yeah, it means a lot. Everybody's still in contention. New Orleans a 4-point favorite. Interesting storylines out of Atlanta. They are going officially with Desmond Ridder. Is getting his first start, and kind of uncharacteristic from Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota getting benched. Here he is. I always have to show him off. Here's Marcus. Mariota here, and now he is stepping away from the team. So I really don't know what all's going on there. Like, I mean, everything that I've known from Marcus from being in Tennessee, like he's the ultimate teammate, very humble, doesn't even have like any kind of social media. So like, I mean, not that means he's a great person, obviously, but I mean, like that's just odd. You don't see that. And he's just one of those guys. And like, even when he got benched in Tennessee, the audio clip, I love this audio clip. I mean, he's over there telling Ryan Tannehill, like, I mean, hey man, go be great. I'm be here with you every step of the way. So it's uncharacteristic for Mariota, and Arthur Smith, who has had time with him in Tennessee, who's now the head coach at the Falcons, has come out and said, this is Marcus is stepping away with like a knee injury that hasn't been a problem up until now when he got benched. So it seems like there's some turmoil on both sides of the story, but I'll be more interested to find out what's going on with that. It seems uncharacteristic, but a game that somehow means a lot between two teams that have 9 wins combined. So also 1 o'clock CBS could be an absolute slobber knocker. Lions at 6 and 7 at 6 and 7 Lions at the 7 and 6 Jets. The line is even. Vegas is just like, just pick one. Who cares? That one should be a lot of fun. The Lions offense is their strong suit, but that Jets defense is nice. So we'll see if the Jets offense or the Lions defense is going to step up more.
Yeah, that defense is good. I mean, outside too, 40 degrees, so not as bad as it will be in Buffalo. So 40 degrees and sunny, so not terrible weather for the Lions, but still. That I don't know if that's going to play a factor with the Lions being, of course, in the dome. This defense will be ready to go for the Jets. Lions offense ready to go, and see if Mike White. I know he got banged up. I think he's good to go still. But if he takes another shot, it could be rough for the Jets.
Yeah, for sure. Also 1 o'clock Steelers Panthers. Means a lot to the Panthers.
Yeah,
means a heck of a lot to the Panthers. So Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. Gonna be 45 degrees in Charlotte. Should be an interesting game. I'll be interested to see if Kenny Pickett's going to play or not. But Panthers are kind of rolling, man. I mean, who knows?
Defense looking a lot better, and Sam Darnold has done his job. That's all you can ask of him. That two-headed running back monster.
Yep. Panthers
again, like I said, they could. If they win out, they're in, and if they win 3 of those 4, especially those 2 division games, you're in. So the season's still alive for the Panthers.
Yeah. The 10-3 Cowboys are on the road at the 5-8 Jaguars. Obviously, we talked about it. Jaguars still very much alive in the AFC South race. Cowboys obviously still trying to stay up there in the NFC East and see if Philadelphia can slip up and Cowboys can overtake them. But Dallas, a 4.5-point favorite, going to Jacksonville. This is probably the only time in my life I'm ever going to say this, but go Cowboys. I am pulling very hard for Dallas this week, and I hope my mom hears that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I mean, this is one of those after last week and how the way the Jacks have been doing, how Dallas's defense looked at times last week. You know, Trevor Lawrence comes out and has another great game, and the Jazz could sneak up on the Cowboys. But
yeah, you never know.
It'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys can do here on the road. Again, might feel like a home game for the Cowboys though, since they have fans all over. And the Jags don't have a great crowd, so they may fit right at home in TIAA Bank Stadium.
Yeah, so it's going to be an absolutely perfect 59 degrees. Amazing in Jacksonville. So 1 o'clock, Chiefs at Texans. Oh, God.
Patrick Mahomes, this is your get-right game here. Shake off last week. Get right. Yeah. Go drop 50 on these boys in Houston.
Yeah. 14-point favorites, over-unders 49. Yeah, Chiefs all the way, bro.
Yeah, Chiefs probably rolling in this one. Again, we said that about that Cowboys, so.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
The first 4 of the 4 o'clock hour, Cardinals, Broncos. Oh God, this sucks. This is so bad. You got Colt McCoy versus most likely Brett Rippon. Denver's a 3-point favorite. It's going to be 33 degrees. Everybody's going to be miserable.
Yeah.
This game sucks.
Yeah. If you're a Broncos fan, I'd find something else to do on your Sundays. For the rest of the year, because
I mean, Cardinals fans too. I mean,
Cardinals fans too, especially with Kyler Murray out. Like, just spend time with your kids.
Yeah. It's almost the holidays. Like, you need to start buttering
up
your
Christmas
kids,
shopping. So. You're gonna have about a week before Christmas. Go Christmas shopping if you haven't done it yet.
Right. Also at 4:05, the Patriots are at the Vegas Raiders. Patriots are 1-point favorite on the road. This game. Sort of means
which
something,
Raiders
I guess.
You're gonna get which Patriots offense are you gonna get? Like,
who knows?
No
it's a
clue about game. This one. Yeah, it'll be something stupid will happen. And Josh McDaniel's revenge game against Bill Belichick, maybe. So that's about all you need to worry about.
Yeah. Bengals at the Buccaneers at 4:25. Bengals have been playing really good. They're 3.5-point favorites over the Bucs at home. It's going to be 68 degrees, just absolutely perfect down there. But yeah, this one should be in the favor of the Bengals. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want Joe Burrow to wash this man, please.
Yeah, I agree.
Destroy this man. Send him home to his empty house. Bengals, I need you just to hurt this man before the holidays. Yeah, no, I mean, again, never know which Tampa Bay you're going to get, which Tom Brady you're going to get. So
yeah. And then also 4:25, the Tennessee Titans, obviously on a 3-game losing streak, taking the cross-country trip to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers, who are also 7-6. Chargers a 3-point favorite. 47 is the over/under. This is where Tennessee needs to step up and be the Titans teams of the past couple of years, like the teams that lose games they shouldn't, but then bounce back and win games that they have no business winning. This is one of those times that we need this. So I'll be interested to see how healthy the Titans are going to be. Obviously, David Long's on IR, so he's going to be out. Jeffrey Simmons still hobbling on that ankle, but he's still been playing. But hopefully there is some hope that maybe Tennessee could get back Traylon Burks if he clears concussion protocol. They could get back Danico Autry, which has been a massive loss for our defensive line since he went down with a knee injury. He's questionable. Christian Fulton's also questionable, and then a rookie corner, Trey Avery, didn't play last week as well. He's been getting a lot of starting reps. He's questionable for this week, so hopefully get a lot of those guys back, and we'll see how it goes. If you got the first week of the fantasy playoffs are starting this week for a lot of leagues. If you got Chargers receivers, I don't care what their rank is on the depth chart, start them. They're probably going to have an absolute field day. Justin Herbert, 375 passing yards. I'm calling it right now. Book it. But Tennessee needs a big day. They need to figure some stuff out offensively. Got to get Derrick Henry going. Got to have another game like Jacksonville last week, but you got to keep it consistent throughout the whole game. You can't just do it in the first quarter and stop. So we'll see how it goes. Titans need a win. We need one bad, and the Chargers are kind of hot. This is a game in years past, like I said, that Titans seems like prime time Titans. Like, hey, let's go, baby. They're gonna win this game, but I just don't know this year. But we'll see.
Yeah, need it. But like you said, Justin Herbert comes out and slings it like he did against the Dolphins, and if Mike Williams goes off again, could be a long day in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that Packers Thursday night football game that put the Titans up to 7-3 feels like 7 years ago.
I know,
so,
it feels so
Titans are on the verge of being 7-7. So great, we love that. Sunday night, baby, Giants at the Commanders. Can we get a primetime tie, please, God? Please, God. The last time these two teams met, they tied 20-all. Washington at home, 4.5-point favorite. So should be interesting. Washington coming off a bye. Giants coming off a shellacking by the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Giants starting to slip a bit. Commanders had a week to get healthy. This could go really bad for the Giants if they don't get it together.
It could. And then, Monday night, the game that everybody asked for. The Baker Mayfield-led Rams take their talents to Lambeau in 24-degree weather against Aaron Rodgers and the crappy Packers. So, hooray. Going to be great. Green Bay's a 7-point favorite. Over-under's 39.5. Like I said, 24 degrees. Lambeau's going to probably be in full force. Yeah, this could be interesting. I mean, I like Baker Mayfield a lot. And he showed last week that he can produce a little bit and do a few things. So we'll see if he can go to Lambeau and get it done, but who knows?
Which Packers team you're going to get, because they've been so up and down. Christian Watson, like I said, has been a really good receiver. He's up there for your offensive rookie of the year as well. Which Aaron Rodgers you get, Packers aren't dead yet. It's getting close, though, getting do or die for them. So see if they have a late run in them for that playoff push.
Yeah. We'll take a quick peek at the standings. Starting in the AFC East, the Bills 10-3. They have a 2-game lead over the 8-5 Dolphins. They play this week. Obviously, we said that's going to be a big matchup. Patriots and the Jets are 7-6. In the AFC North, the Ravens and the Bengals are both 9-4. Ravens get the nod over them because of their division record at the moment. So those two teams have yet to play each other. They play each other twice in the next coming in the last 4 weeks of the season. So should be interesting. Browns, Pittsburgh, 5-8, both on the outside looking in at the moment. AFC South, the glorious AFC South. Titans are 7-6, losers of 3 straight. Amazing. But still clinging on to a 2-game lead. Jacksonville hot on their tail, 5-8. And Indianapolis 4-8-1 on the verge of elimination. Houston has already been eliminated. So every team in this division has a negative point differential, with the exception of the Jaguars, who, after beating the Titans by 14, have a point differential of 0.
Yeah.
So, great. Good, good for them. In the AFC West, the division that everybody touted as the best division of all time, it seems like it's more of the same. Chiefs are 10-3. Chargers are 3 games behind them at 7-6, and then the Raiders are 5-8, and the Broncos have been eliminated. They suck. So, NFC East, surprisingly great. Eagles, awesome, 12-1. Cowboys, 2 games back, 10-3. Commanders and Giants are both 7-5-1. So,
Eagles are the first team to officially clinch a playoff spot at 12-1. By the way, too.
Yes.
So, Bills, by the way, if the Bills beat the Dolphins, they clinch a playoff spot. Forgot to mention that. So
very nice. Eagles and Cowboys both winners of 4 straight. So they're looking to continue being hot. NFC North, Vikings 10-3, got a 4-game lead over the Lions. It's all but over in the NFC North. At least right now. Packers, Lions are 6-7. Packers are 5-8. Chicago eliminated.
Lions are a team with a positive point differential in this division.
Yes, they have a point differential of +2. The Vikings at 10-3 have a point differential of -1. Make it make sense.
Yeah.
NFC South, wow. Tampa Bay 6-7, Carolina 5-8, Atlanta 5-8, New Orleans 4-9. Everything's in play.
Everybody still can win this division. No one is dead yet.
Yeah. Everybody sucks, but is also amazing.
Yeah.
And in the NFC West, the 49ers starting to separate themselves. 9-4. Seattle 7-6, Arizona and the Rams are both 4-9. They suck.
Yeah.
49ers have a point differential of plus 120, which is good for, I believe, fourth best in the league, which is good for them. Oh, the AFC East everybody has a positive point differential.
Yeah.
Besides, the Dolphins are plus 4. They're the worst point differential in that division, which is odd to me. But
yeah.
Anyway, so that's your NFL wrap up. Hooray!
But yeah, busy NFL for sure. We'll move over to college, and first, I want to start off before we look at games. Of course, as we're recording this on a Tuesday, we'll be remiss if we skipped over this. If you haven't heard by now, Mike Leach, the coach of Mississippi State, passed away officially last night on the 12th at 61 years old. Massive heart attack after a bout of pneumonia. Terrible news for sure. Was a guy that coached at Texas Tech, Washington State, Mississippi State. Really, without him, you don't have a whole lot of what we have in offense in football with the air raid. You don't have a lot of the quick passes, the quick screens. Him and Hal Mummy developed that at Iowa Wesleyan and then at Valdosta State. Leach stepped out on his own, went to Texas Tech, turned them into a powerhouse. We were talking about before we recorded, Michael Crabtree, Graham Harrell, the game against Texas in 2008, put Texas Tech on the map. Goes to Washington State after a couple of years away after getting fired from Texas Tech. Turns Washington State into a powerhouse with Gardner Minshew. Then goes to Mississippi State. And then, of course, fitting, he wins his last game, knocking off Ole Miss in a massive upset to get the bowl eligibility. Lane Kiffin said, heartfelt words from Lane Kiffin saying, he says, if I had to lose to anybody, I'm glad I was able to be his final win. Chrissy Floyd had a good article about how she tried to be a GA at some small school at Iowa Wesleyan where Mike Leach started, and it just fell through, but he helped her the entire way. Mike Leach, when he was retired for that brief period of time for 3 years, just living in Key West, he would just talk to everybody. Spencer Hall went down there, spent 7 hours on a fishing boat with him. They talked football, he said, for maybe an hour. Dude had the funniest interviews. Of course, would talk to your ear off about everything and anything. I think the funniest one I saw was when they beat USC at Washington State, stormed the field. First thing he said, it's like Woodstock out here, but everybody's completely closed. Just crazy stuff.
He was a national treasure, man. You never knew what was going to come out of his mouth, and every time it was just pure gold. It was great.
Yeah, very unique person. Wrote a couple of history books too. Wrote his own book, which I'll definitely need to pick up now too. They wrote right when he went to Mississippi State, I believe. But yeah, absolutely heartbreaking. Mississippi State says they're going to still play their bowl game. Hopefully they do something for him to honor him during that game. But yeah, very disappointing. We lost a legend for sure. Yeah,
no doubt. You hit the nail on the head with everything you said. He was one of the best personalities in sports, in all of sports. And it was always a joy. Anytime he got a mic in front of him, you just knew it was going to be entertaining. And it was he was a guy that was, he was so hard to dislike. I mean, whether when he was at Texas Tech, if you were a Oklahoma or a Texas fan, or when he was at Washington State, if you're a Washington fan, or now at Mississippi State, if you're from Oxford and you're an Ole Miss fan, just a guy it's hard to hate him. And, I hate what has transpired and what has happened to him. We definitely did lose a legend for sure. But, just an amazing coach. And I'm going to miss seeing him out there, and I'm going to miss watching him run his offense. Offense has transcended college football ever since it got put on the map at Texas Tech. So, and some of those memories, like that night against Texas, man, I remember watching that game with my dad.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Just watching them put themselves on the map, and that freaking pass, the whole sequence. The pass before that with 15 seconds left, gets tipped up, and Texas it has the game in the bag, and it just falls right through his hands for a missed interception. And then he throws that strike to Crabtree. Crabtree pulls free, touchdown. It's amazing. Great call, great guy. We definitely lost a freaking legend, and I hate it.
Yeah, absolutely heartbreaking. Here in Lubbock, of course, he had posters all around, and he had a weird relationship with Texas Tech. It didn't end well for him, getting fired. Had an incident with a player. just got sold out of court and whatever. But Texas Tech, he still loved Lubbock. He still loved Texas Tech, and he said he wanted to turn Texas Tech into a powerhouse. And it's disappointing he didn't get to do that fully during his time. But always a guy that coached up the best. Coached up Lincoln Riley was there with him. Graham Harrell, Cliff Kingsbury, Sonny Cumbie was one of his quarterbacks. And of course, Michael Crabtree, one of his receivers. Now Will Rogers, who's had a pretty good career at Mississippi State as well. So definitely going to be missed. Rest in peace, Coach Mike Leach. One game this week in Division I football, it was Army-Navy. Always delivers. First time ever. It was wild to think about that. First time ever this game goes to overtime. Goes to double OT. It was a defensive battle as we all expected. Army got a blocked punt for a touchdown early to go up 7-3. Then Anton Hall breaks off a 77-yard run to take a lead for Navy in the third quarter before Army gets a drive and kicks a field goal to tie it. And then the offense shows up in overtime. Markel Johnson, 25-yard run. Then Michael Haywood, only pass Navy completed today in that game. I think the only pass they threw in this game. That's a 25-yard touchdown pass from Xavier Arline to tie it back up. But then Army gets the fumble recovery on the 2-yard line, and then it kicks the field goal in double OT, 20-17. I hate it because I was pulling for Navy, of course, in my grandfather's service. But, man, heck of a game, though, and it always delivers.
Yeah. An amazing game, especially overtime. I mean, the regulation of the game was, kind of what you expected. It was just all straight option attack, and nobody could really get anything going despite what Navy having that 60-something yard touchdown and Army blocking a punt for a touchdown. And then Army kicks a field goal, ties it up late, and then we go to overtime, and bam, they just started playing offense.
Yeah.
It was back and forth, man. It was awesome. So our Army coming out with a win gets them to 6-6. Unfortunately, not bowl eligible because they played 2 FCS teams, but like you said, it always delivers. It's always great, and even if the football is bad, I mean, it's such a great spectacle to take in. Just something cool to watch, and like the whole thing about when a team wins, the big thing you like to say is like we're singing second, which is dope. That's so cool. They both
just chill every time they do it too.
Yeah, it's awesome
because they start on the one end of the losing end. They all sprint across the field, jump into the stands with their cadets, and they get to sing it. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
with that team. Ken Niumatalolo fired from Navy as well after this.
Yeah.
You were kind of expecting it because Navy had 3 years in a row they hadn't gone to a bowl game, and Niumatalolo, despite being all the years he had, I mean, Keenan Reynolds and Malcolm Perry, great quarterbacks there, got Navy to the American Athletic Championship 1 year, but Navy just kind of lost some steam. Navy, I've read some things. Navy is a lot different than the rest of the military schools. Navy cannot redshirt like the other, like Army and Air Force, so they're kind of playing from behind, and also they have something weird about transfers too. So again, but then Ken Niumatalolo said he would like to stay out the rest of his contract. He had one more year left, but Navy said no. So kind of an interesting situation. Disappointing there, but interesting to see where Navy goes from here because he was there for about 14, 15 years, I believe, after Paul Johnson left. So
yeah, for sure.
So that'll be interesting to see in the off season. So it is now one of the most wonderful times of the year. If you're a college football fan, it is a bowl season. And a lot of these games, people say some of these games don't matter. Well, I think they matter to a lot of these smaller teams, of course. This is your big bucks, big time to get on the stage, national stage, and have a fun trip too. And if nothing else, have a fun trip with your teammates to a location. I think Mike Golick Jr. said it best: bowl games are to go get drunk in a city you'll never be in again. So
yeah,
that's how he feels about bowl games. Unless, of course, you're playing in like what was BCS now, New Year's Six, the college football playoff, of course. But we'll start off. We'll kind of go quick with these bowl games. First one is this Friday, early in the morning. It is the Bahamas Bowl, Miami of Ohio and UAB. The Bahamas Bowl, notable for its lack of security. You can just walk in there with a six-pack. People will be standing on the track, and they'll high-five the players randomly.
Amazing.
It's a mess of a game. I think they should play a national championship here 1 year just because.
Facts.
But hey, good for Miami, Ohio, and UAB. UAB, of course, will be welcoming in Trent Dilfer as their head coach.
Yeah.
He's not coaching the game, but he's going to the game. So interesting to see, what UAB does with him in attendance.
Yeah, Bahamas Bowl never disappoints. There's been some crazy moments, so they have a lot of hype to live up to.
Yeah,
at least for me.
yeah, should be a lot of fun. This one is the Cure Bowl between UTSA and Troy. This is the only bowl game with two conference champions playing each other, which is wild to think about. Not even the CFP is going to give you that, unless it comes down to, I believe, Georgia and Michigan. That's the only way you would get that.
Yep.
Wild to think about that. But yeah, UTSA and Troy. UTSA talked about Frank Harris coming back for his 7th season. Love that. Never leave college, y'all. Never leave.
Facts. It's the real world's a trap.
Yeah. Troy as a team that is a couple plays away from being undefeated. Lost by 8 to Ole Miss. Lost in that Hail Mary to App State. Still won the Sun Belt, though. The Trojans came on strong at the end. This should be a heck of a game.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a dang good game. I'm excited to watch this one for sure.
Then on December 17th, you got a ton of games on. So it's kind of like a pretty normal college football Saturday. You start off with the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Wasabi is sadly not the condiment. It is some company. I'm disappointed to tell you that. Yeah. Interesting now is Louisville and Cincinnati. And Louisville's coach, Scott Stafford, now the coach of Cincinnati. So,
yeah.
Interesting there. Also, they're playing in a baseball stadium, which is always incredibly stupid. And they're going to be on the same sideline. So this has potential to be very dumb. I think it's going to snow too that day. So
yeah,
this is all the potential in the world to be. It's going to be just 39 degrees. Never mind. Dang it. I was hoping it would snow. All the potential in the world to get very dumb.
Yeah.
The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. That's a fun name for the Las Vegas Bowl. Florida and Oregon State. Oregon State shining up to number 14 in the country. They had a really good year. Florida, Anthony Richardson is piecing out to go to the NFL draft. So going to be interesting to see how Florida can do against what's been a very good Oregon State team this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Should be an interesting one down there in Allegiant Stadium. Oregon State was shooting up to 14 in the country. They had a great year. So
the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl over in SoFi Stadium, Fresno State and Washington State. You're going to see Jake Haener one last time. This is his last college game before he goes for the draft. It'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, Washington State, who's ultimate chaos team every single week, it feels like.
Yeah.
And this one could get real stupid real quick as well. Should be a lot of fun, though, especially with Jake Haener out there.
Well, excuse me. I hope Jake Haener can go out a winner, man.
Lending Tree Bowl, Southern Miss and Rice. Rice is 5-7 in the bowl game because they are a bunch of nerds because they had the highest NPR score of bowl eligible teams or 5 teams left. Southern Miss has Frank Gore Jr. That's really all you need to watch this game for, honestly. Southern Miss will probably win this one by a lot.
Oh yeah.
New Mexico Bowl. This one's sneaky good, I think. SMU and BYU. Rematch of the old Holiday Bowl from way back in the day, back when SMU was running wild and BYU was on top. BYU started off hot, kind of fell apart with some injuries. SMU, remember SMU is the team that scored 56 points in one half earlier this year.
Yeah,
Tanner Mordecai is their quarterback, so there will be a ton of offense in this one over in Albuquerque. Also, this is the most beautiful bowl trophy of all time because it's like a handmade pot is what it is. So it's a very beautiful trophy for the winning team. So, but it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, over under 64. Expect points.
And finally, the Frisco Bowl, North Texas and Boise State. Both of these teams lost their conference championship games. So looking to rebound off of that, North Texas just hired Eric Morrison, who is their coach. He is also another funny Mike Leach story. He's from the Mike Leach coaching tree. He was the slot receiver position for Mike Leach's offense was nicknamed the elf position because Eric Morris dressed up as an elf for Halloween one year and went to Mike Leach's house and he played. So they call it the elf position after him. So, that's a fun story. But yeah, this should be an interesting one between North Texas and Boise State, two offenses that kind of found their rhythm late.
Oh yeah.
Take a day break. Then Monday, December 19th. 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday. What better than this to play the Myrtle Beach Bowl in 30 minutes away in Conway, South Carolina?
Yeah, baby. We love Myrtle Beach Bowl, and it's not even in Myrtle Beach.
On the surf and turf, the teal turf, it's Marshall and UConn. Jim Mora Jr. takes his Huskies to their first bowl game since 2015. Take on the Marshall Thunder and Herd, who beat Notre Dame. If UConn wins this game, UConn has a chance to win over Alabama. So I'm kind of all in on the Huskies.
Yes, I 100% hope UConn goes to Myrtle Beach and has a great time.
Yeah,
they deserve it. They deserve it.
UConn deserves to win this game for sure. Marshall will be a fun one for them too. December 20th, San Jose State and Eastern Michigan in the Idaho Potato Bowl. Tickets are $4 for this game, which is awesome.
It's going to be 19 degrees at 3:30 Eastern. So that's 12:30. Oh no,
1:30.
1:30. Oh God,
it's in the afternoon on Wednesday.
Yikes.
Rematch of the 1987 California Bowl, and the reason I mentioned that's Eastern Michigan's only bowl win was that game. And also Eastern Michigan during that game, apparently they had like 2 or 3 weeks before that game started. Eastern Michigan completely changed their offense and ran the triple option in that game just because, and won it like 35-17 or something. So I hope one of these teams just pulls that out.
San Jose State looking for revenge for that California Bowl.
Yeah. And then that night you had the Boca Raton Bowl, Toledo and Liberty. Liberty getting, of course, Jamie Chadwell from Coastal. He will not coach this game. Toledo, the MAC champions down in Boca Raton. So, I mean, hey, at least Toledo, you get to go somewhere warm.
Yeah, 75. Couldn't ask for anything better than that.
December 21st, the New Orleans Bowl, South Alabama and West Kentucky. South Alabama had a sneaky good season this year. Only losses were that tough one to UCLA and then had a close loss to Troy. I believe they have another loss sprinkled in there somewhere. But yeah, South Alabama, good season. Cap it off against Western Kentucky, who I feel like always has a good offense, has a good quarterback. So could be a lot of fun in that one.
Oh, yeah.
December 22nd is Baylor and Air Force. Oh, we get to see a Power 5 team against the triple option, baby.
Amazing.
Have fun. That always goes well. I think I can't remember what bowl game it was. Air Force played somebody in a bowl game. I want to say it was Washington or someone in Pac-12, and Air Force had a 10-minute drive, and it was beautiful. And you could tell the team they were playing, it was some Power 5 team, was just hating life. The entire drive.
No doubt.
I expect nothing less than that from the Falcons against Baylor.
I agree.
December 23rd, Independence Bowl, Houston and Louisiana. That could bring a ton of fans to there. In-state for Louisiana, Houston travels well. Houston looking to finish off, a disappointing season. They started off ranked and then kind of just fell apart toward the end, taking on Louisiana, who also had disappointing by their standards, not making the Sun Belt Championship game.
Yeah, could be a fun one to be interested to see how packed it is with Louisiana fans.
This I think is your first. I'm going back up. Oh, no, it's not. It's not your first Power 5 matchup because Florida and Oregon State play each other. But Wake Forest and Missouri in the Gasparilla Bowl. I believe Sam Hartman is going to play in this one. So he has not made a decision about whether he's leaving or not. I think he has a year of eligibility left, so that's an interesting storyline. Of course, kind of Basilic and Missouri, they kind of got going toward the end of the year. This could be an offensive shootout with both of these quarterbacks going.
Yeah, Wake Forest by 1 million because Missouri ducked Kansas. Missouri should have played Kansas.
Yeah. Missouri cowards. Kansas too. That was a big point of controversy. Missouri did not want to play Kansas in the bowl game, and that's why they're in the Gasparilla Bowl. So
and they've rewarded Eli Drinkwitz for mediocrity.
Yeah, he got an extension. I was like, okay.
Now they still beat us. They beat Carolina this year, so I really can't say nothing. But you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna say it.
True. Christmas Eve, the Hawaii Bowl is Middle Tennessee and San Diego State. Good old Middle Tennessee. And of course, continuing that momentum after they beat Miami 45-3. I want y'all to remember that happened this year.
Yeah.
45-24, not 45. It was 24-3 at one point. Got to play San Diego State, who is just a team that just runs the ball and makes you hate life. They're like an option team without running the option. They just run the ball and make you hate life.
Yeah. So nice little fly them out to Hawaii thing. It's a shame they can't play in Aloha Stadium, but you know what? The fans and them might die if they play in Aloha Stadium.
True,
So
yeah.
I guess it's for the better.
Yeah. Playing that small temporary stadium Hawaii has right now, not as ideal, but I understand why.
Yeah.
December 26th, the New Mexico, Quick Lane Bowl featuring New Mexico State and Bowling Green. I already mentioned how tough of a job that is in New Mexico State. Jerry Kill in his first year getting them bowl eligible, and now going to Detroit to play Bowling Green. No, that's big for New Mexico State for sure. If they can win, they finish with a 7-6 record. That's a winning season. Again, hardest job in the FBS for sure, and what a way to go out. New Mexico State can win it.
Yeah, no doubt. I really hope New Mexico State wins it. Nothing against Bowling Green, but like, what a story. Jerry Kill's done an amazing job.
Yeah. December 27th, games start to pick back up again with the Camellia Bowl, Georgia Southern, and Buffalo. Buffalo had the win on a rescheduled game against Akron at like noon on a Friday to get here. Georgia Southern knocked off App State in the final game of the year in overtime to get here. So both of these teams had a lot of excitement to get to this point, looking to close out their seasons with a win.
Yeah, should be a good one.
First Responder Bowl, Memphis and Utah State. Utah State started off horrible. They got smacked by Weber State, I believe, early in the year, but turned it around late to get the bowl eligibility. Memphis, up and down the year, almost knocked off UCF once again. I feel like they always almost knock off UCF and just don't beat them.
Yeah.
It's disappointing, but this should be a fun one between two pretty good offenses as well.
Yeah.
Birmingham Bowl, Coastal Carolina and East Carolina, the battle of directional Carolinas at the beach, playing each other in Birmingham, Alabama. Coastal Carolina, Grayson McCall is transferring, but he's going to play this game. So
nice.
We
respect that.
Yeah, so respect for him. ECU had a big win over UCF this season, so looking to build all that momentum for sure, or the Pirates, and end up with a big time win. Pirates are turning around because since Ruffin McNeil got fired, they've kind of been out in the wilderness, but Mike Houston has done a heck of a job getting the Pirates back up to where, at least to almost where they were before Ruffin McNeil got fired.
Yeah.
And then the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. This used to be the Cheez-It Bowl or the Motel 6 Cactus Bowl or something. Wisconsin and Oklahoma State. Wisconsin, of course, they have Luke Fickell. He's not going to be coaching this game, but also no Graham Mertz as he is transferring out. Oklahoma State, just plagued by injuries. I just go out to the desert and injure season for both of these teams, honestly.
Yeah, Oklahoma State could really use a bounce back win after how their season ended, but who knows?
Yeah.
Also those games at a baseball stadium. Crazy.
And we always know those are the craziest ones.
Yeah.
December 28th, Military Bowl, UCF and Duke. First of all, the fact that Duke is in a bowl game is amazing. Mike Elko, the coach of the year. Like we said, 16 points away from being undefeated. Worst loss was the Kansas. This is going to be a tough test for Duke for sure, because UCF, very disappointed how their time in the AAC ended. Looking to build off going to the Big 12 next year. Then Duke, of course, looking to build and try to get a 9-win season, which again, crazy to think about when Mike Elko first got here. Yeah,
no doubt. Really hope Duke can finish off the season with a win. Mike Elko has been fantastic. The future of this Duke program is bright. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, for sure. Liberty Bowl, Kansas and Arkansas. Kansas play each other once again. Lance Leopold, heck of a job. Toughest Power 5 job, gets Kansas to a bowl game. Of course, at the 5-0 start, I know they didn't end the way they wanted to, but you're going to the bowl game. Arkansas slipped a little bit, had some injuries plague them, but Sam Pittman still got him to a bowl game. This could be really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah. Another one that could be fun, the Holiday Bowl, Oregon and North Carolina. This could be offensive plenty. You have Bo Nix, who you never know what's going to happen with him, against Drake May.
Yeah.
This could be a shootout, and it's also in a baseball stadium at Petco Park.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely wild.
Yeah, just absolute insanity in that one. And this one could get crazy too. The Texas Bowl down in Houston, Texas Tech and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, again, that offense of Lane Kiffin is crazy. Texas Tech still keeping that air raid tradition going with Joe McGuire. This could be those two night games that day on the 28th could be insanely fun.
Yeah, those are both going to be great. That's definitely circled on the calendar.
Move to December 29th. You have the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
It sounds better when it's the Gasparilla Bowl, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Syracuse and Minnesota up at Yankee Stadium. Another
baseball stadium. Amazing.
This is going to be on Thursday at 2 p.m, and it's probably going to be cold and disgusting, and that just suits Syracuse and Minnesota, I think. So
yeah, for sure. I couldn't imagine a better conditions for this game.
Yeah, Syracuse had that great start and they kind of fell off toward the end. Minnesota just never really could get anything going. Had Tanner Morgan got hurt after coming back, but they have that really good running back and Ibrahim. Ibrahim, they were tough running backs.
Yeah.
And also Sean Tucker on the other side, so it could be a very fun rushing attack.
Yeah, for sure.
Cheez-It Bowl between Oklahoma and Florida State. Florida State, of course, has had a lot better season than I think people thought they would, and they can close it out with a big-time win in this one.
Yeah, this feels so one-sided to me. Like, I mean, this game very well could end up being close, but I just think Florida State's going to beat the dog mess out of them.
Yeah, interesting. But Brent Venables does know Florida State, but it's not Clemson, so we'll see if they follow up anything for this one. Then night game, the Alamo Bowl, Texas and Washington. That place is going to be all Texas fans in San Antonio. I feel like whenever Texas goes to the Alamo Bowl, is just all Texas fans.
Yes.
But this could be fun. You got Michael Penix, of course, on the Washington side. He had a heck of a rebound season after transferring from Indiana. And he's going back next year for the Huskies, so could be very exciting for Washington. Know what to build off this Texas. Not going to say they're back yet, but they were a lot better than the past. So see what the Longhorns can do in front of what's going to be a very pro Longhorn crowd.
Yeah, no doubt.
December 30th, this is when we get really rolling. This is when kind of the big games start showing up. And, of course, biggest game of them all, the Duke's Mayo Bowl, of course. Yes. Maryland and NC State, an old ACC rivalry. First time these two teams have met since Maryland left for the Big Ten. NC State, Devin Leary announced he is going to the draft. A bunch of receivers have announced they're leaving. Their best receiver, Devin Carter, announced he's leaving for NC State. So cupboard kind of bare for the Wolfpack, but they kind of had to deal with that all year. They still have a pretty good defense. Maryland, little Tagovailoa, Talua. Out there for the Terps, has just broken all sorts of records for Maryland. It just stinks because you feel like he should be a lot better, but Maryland always gets close against like Ohio State and Michigan and then just loses it. Looking to see if Maryland can go out with a win here would be big for the Terps.
Yeah, no doubt. Should be a good one. Old ACC matchup, like you said. Love to see it.
The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl between Pitt and UCLA. Pitt is going to try to drag UCLA down into the depths. That is Pitt football, but DCR in his final game for UCLA will look to see if they can avoid that. Sneaky good game here, I think so too.
Yeah, no, it should be a fun one out there in freaking El Paso. Gonna be nice on the I believe CBS. So we'll have Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson on the call. Great.
Hey, at least going to get beautiful shots of the sun in El Paso.
Of the sun in the bowl, yeah.
There you go. And then here's this one. This is a big one, too. The Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Notre Dame and South Carolina. Doesn't feel like at times there's much of a big matchup. There's been a lot of transfers for both teams. Drew Pine for Notre Dame, the top tackler for Notre Dame, top linebacker for Notre Dame is also transferring as their tight end. But South Carolina, Jaheim Bell is transferring, and then Marshawn Lloyd also transferring. Spencer Rattler is going to play this game, but despite the transfers, South Carolina can get a win over Notre Dame. This feels like a massive win because Notre Dame is a national brand, regardless of how good they are. And that is just a big feather in your cap. You're Shane Beamer, plus you can do something that Clemson didn't do, which is beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited. Notre Dame opening up as a 2-point favorite, over under 52. Like you said, Jaheim Bell transferring definitely hurts Carolina. He was misused for a significant portion of the season. So, I mean, I can't really fault him there. He did officially sign with Florida State, which is where he's from. So, he will be a Florida State Seminole next year. And Marshawn Lloyd entering the portal is very surprising.
Yeah.
And haven't heard much into it other than the fact some people are saying that he cut off contact with coaches, which I just don't. I don't know. I don't know if there's any leg to stand on with that claim, but either way, it hurts. I hope he goes and does good wherever he goes, but it definitely hurts Carolina, a team that was already hampered at running back anyway, and now your leading running back and your Swiss Army knife running back is not there. But Spencer Rattler is going to play, so still no decision on Rattler's future as far as whether he's going to go to the NFL draft. I mean, I would probably imagine if he comes out and he absolutely lights it up that he's probably going to the NFL draft. Do I think he needs to go? No. I want another year of Rattler. But is what it is. South Carolina, not for this game, but has hired a new offensive coordinator. It is Dowell Loggins, the tight end coach from Arkansas, and I haven't heard anybody say his name, so I really hope that's how it's pronounced. I hope I didn't get.
I've heard 2 different pronunciations, but I'm not entirely sure. So,
yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna go with Dowell Loggins, a tight ends coach from Arkansas. He has NFL experience. He was an offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans, also with the Chicago Bears and the New York Jets under Adam Gase, which none of his offenses statistically were great. But I think that experience goes a long way. And then you've got people like Connor Shaw was with him when he was in Chicago as a Bear, and Connor Shaw endorses him. So, and a lot of people are against this hire. Obviously, we all don't know how it's going to go, but I just treat it like Shane Beamer. Like a lot of people, when Beamer got hired, he had no head coaching experience, and I think he's done a fantastic job. So you never know. And if this is the guy that Beamer likes and the guy that Beamer wants, I mean, hell, I got no reason but to not. I got no reason but to not come to his side and just support Carolina. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited about that. I haven't heard who's going to be calling plays for the bowl game. Might be like Justin Stepp, our wide receivers coach, but I'm not sure yet. But should be fun. 3:30 on a Friday. I'm going to be working during the game. That sucks, but it is what it is. I hope South Carolina can pull out a win.
Yeah. Also saw your special teams coach got a $300,000 bonus, which is well deserved.
Yeah. Yes. Pete Limbo is now the highest. I think he's the highest paid. I can't remember the exact. He's not the highest paid assistant, but I can't remember what it is. But he's like one of the highest paid special teams coaches, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah.
But Pete Limbo's been freaking amazing, and he deserves every bit of that money. So
especially with Kai Kroger being the MVP of this team for sure.
Right. Yeah.
The interesting game to see, of course, for South Carolina and Notre Dame. The Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl. Interesting. There, Ohio and Wyoming will be streaming only on Barstool Sports. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
They tried to play this game last year, had a COVID issue with Central Michigan in Miami, so didn't get to play it. So interesting to see what Barstool. I know they had a basketball tournament earlier this year. They did pretty well presentation-wise on that. So just to see what
you can't tell. This has got to be the most fun bowl game to be a part of.
Sure.
Like, surely it has to be. Like, I just imagine like all the fanfare and stuff you do leading up to it, the gifts you get, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just got to be top notch. It just has to be great. I hope no issues this year. I really am excited to see it play out and see how their presentation is and like what they do during the game. So should be interesting.
Yeah, should be fun for sure. Then that night, your first New Year's Six bowl game. It's the orangest orange bowl of all time.
Yeah,
Tennessee and Clemson, 8:00 in Hard Rock Stadium, Miami. Of course, both these teams I think had higher aspirations, but of course, with the weight, of course, both teams losing to South Carolina, oddly enough, that knocked them down to the Orange Bowl. So I think again, Clemson, like I said, you're another 11-win season, another ACC championship, heck of a year. Clemson, of course, going to be Cade Klubnik, and what a heck of a first start to go against one of the best teams in the country in Tennessee. Grant, Tennessee's defense has been great this year, and also no Hendon Hooker because of his injury.
Right.
But, I mean, Tennessee still has Jalen Hyatt, probably the best freshman wide receiver in the country out there. And, Clemson going to have some defensive guys out. Miles Murphy's already opted out. So that defensive line loses a guy, but they'll still have guys like KJ Henry out there, Barrett Carter, all running around out there, and Nate Wiggins as well. So, Clemson, I think, is I think they're a 7-point favorite right now, which makes a lot of sense because their defense, how well they've done, and also how well their offense has picked up in that North Carolina game. But and with no Hendon Hooker in there, but this could be like North Carolina game. Could be a shootout or could be a blowout, depending on which Clemson team shows up. I'm disappointed to report they are not both wearing all orange. Clemson's going to wear the white and orange. They've already said they're wearing that. Josh Heupel wanted them to wear the all orange too, because that's what Tennessee, I think, is wearing, the orange and white. But no. Again, I also thought they should have had Tennessee wear the smoky gray and Clemson wear the all purple just to make everybody mad. But
I agree.
Bowl, just to make everybody angry. But it will be a very orange bowl. It should be a lot of fun. And it's always fun like that. It's big for recruiting as well between Tennessee and Clemson too. They've had some recruiting battles.
I mean, I really want to watch this game, but all that orange is really not to be cliche. It's just gonna make my eyes hurt. It's gonna be so bad. I'm gonna have to wear these freaking glasses. While I watch this freaking game. But yeah, it should be a great one. Backup quarterback for Tennessee, Joe Milton, is no slouch. So
he's good.
Be interested to see what they can do. And obviously Clemson, led by Cade Klubnik. So I'll be very interested to see how they can come out and do as well. So it should be a really good game.
Yeah, for sure. And that one. So a lot of fun in that New Year's Six game. New Year's Eve, start off with another New Year's Six game, Alabama and Kansas State. Kansas State's award for winning the Big 12 is to play a pissed off Alabama team.
Take your Big 12 trophy and run.
That's going to be interesting to see how, because we remember what Alabama did to Michigan back in, I think, the Citrus Bowl that one year. They didn't make it, where they won like 31-0. This could be another thing of that. This might be Bryce Young's last game too as an Alabama football player. So interesting to see that. But Kansas State, I mean, backup quarterback won the Big 12 championship. But this could be, again, could be really fun, or it could be just awful and Alabama's just stomping on bodies for 60 minutes.
It's gonna be should be interesting. Like we've said, Kansas State, who I think they're good now. They won the Big 12, so we'll see how good they really are.
And then the Music City Bowl, the second straight year we get Iowa and Kentucky, and this year you have Iowa, whose offense is already bad, but they don't have Spencer Petras, and their backup quarterback is also hurt. So they're running a third-string quarterback who has never played a snap of football in his college career.
Amazing.
But then you're thinking, okay, well, Kentucky's got offense. Oh, no, Will Levis has declared for the draft. Well, they got a running back. Nope, Rodriguez has declared for the draft. The over-under in this game, I think at one point was 32.5.
It's now 31.5.
31.5. SP Plus, which does like more advanced metrics, has the over-under at 25.5.
Oh, God.
This game is going to be horrible.
Yes. And can you appreciate Iowa's offense sucks, Kentucky's offense sucks, and they're playing in Nashville, and the Titans offense sucks. So, can you appreciate that? Whoever made this game, a freaking genius. This game's going to suck. It's going to be so bad, but I'm pulling so hard for Iowa. I couldn't tell you why. I just want Iowa to win very badly.
God, that...
I I just want everything to click, and I'm talking like 59-56 final. Like that's a perfect scenario for this game.
Yeah, it just comes out both quarterbacks for 400 yards.
God almighty.
Oh man. And then on New Year's Eve, you have the first of your two college football. You have your two college football semifinal games starting at 3:00. TCU and Michigan. TCU getting in despite losing the Big 12 championship. Michigan undefeated, rolls through the Big 10 and wins the championship. Again, no Blake Corum for Michigan because he is out for the year, but well without him in the second against Ohio State and Purdue. TCU, Max Duggan, had a Heisman finalist worthy season, looking to maybe lead TCU or snap off the tough performance he had against in the Big 12 championship, win a championship. This game is the Fiesta Bowl. This could be a very, very good game.
Yeah. I'm very interested to watch this game. I'm pulling ever so hard for TCU. But I just think that, I got to go with my gut. And I think that Michigan is definitely going to win this game. I think they're just a better, a more complete team based on what I've seen. And TCU's been fantastic. And TCU has shown us that they can play defense. But I hate to say it, but I really do think Michigan's going to win this game. Albeit, I think it will be a close and competitive game.
Yeah, I think it's close. Maybe Michigan has to pull away late, but kind of like the Ohio State game, I think. But it could be a very, very good game.
Yeah.
And then the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ohio State and Georgia. This one could be a very, very good game, but Ohio State struggled at times on offense this year. Georgia's defense still great, and then Stetson Bennett picked it up a notch this year. This game, they said there's going to be more people at this game than there was at the Super Bowl a few years ago in Atlanta.
It's going to be a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be packed. Of course, Georgia's going to have that home state advantage. Of course, Ohio State fans travel well, so this is going to be a crazy one.
Ohio State will be without Jackson Smith and Jigba. He is declared, which is odd. I feel like when you're playing,
now he's been injured most of the year, so I'll give him that benefit as well. But it is odd that he's declared for the draft during a playoff game. So
and so it is what it is. But I hope Georgia beats the absolute dog out of Ohio State. I really do.
Yeah, they could. They very well could. You saw what Michigan did to them, and Georgia's healthy. So this Georgia team has only been challenged by Missouri for one half, and that was it. Georgia's blown by everybody they've played this year, and they played Tennessee, they played LSU. They've played some good teams this year, so it's not like Georgia's been playing nobodies this season. They have just plowed through everybody. Just Georgia Tech in one half, and then Missouri in one half, and they went on to win those games by double digits. So this is a very good Georgia team. It's going to be hard to stop them. Would not be surprised if Georgia wins this one by 28 points.
Yeah, me either.
Then no games on New Year's Day because that's the NFL Sunday. So January 2nd, goes to more bowl games. The ReliaQuest Bowl, formerly the Outback Bowl. Mississippi State and Illinois. Of course, Mississippi State going to have a tough one without Mike Leach. Of course, Mike Leach passing away. They said they're still going to play this game. Mississippi State's going to come out playing on fire. You expect for this one?
Yeah, you got to expect that one. I think ultimately it'll be a good game. Illinois is a good team that had a good year led by Brett Bielema. So, but yeah, you got to think that Mississippi State's going to be playing with some extra fire here, and it should be a very special day. And I'm sure they're going to have a lot of stuff, Mike Leach related stuff, to do with the game, which will be awesome to see. So
yeah, for sure. Then you have the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Tulane and USC. USC, Caleb Williams, I think, might play this game. He's kind of questionable with his injury. Some other USC players questionable or opted out. Tulane, they're good. Complete turnaround with 2-10. Last year, finished the year 11-2. They got a good running back and Tajay Harrison. What is this kid's name?
Running back for Tulane, Spears.
Tajay Spears. Shifty. Michael Pratt's been a very good quarterback this year for the Green Wave. Would not be surprised if Tulane wins this one. And if they do, that's a heck of a win for the Green Wave.
Yeah.
Finished the year 13-2 after going 2-10 last season. Great job by Willie Fritz.
Yeah, it should be a fantastic game. Fritz has done a great job at Tulane, so I'll be very interested to watch this one.
The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. That just sounds amazing combination. Oranges, Cheez-Its.
So are they going to make citrus Cheez-Its for this game?
Oh. They're going to grind up the Cheez-Its into orange juice, and that's going to
yuck.
Disgusting. This one features LSU and Purdue, again, two more teams that lost their conference championship game. Playing each other. Purdue and Aiden O'Connell. Don't know which one you're going to get half the time. LSU. For what it's worth, everybody thought Brian Kelly was a stupid hire. He got into the SEC championship game, beat Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, props to him. He did a great job this year. So
yeah, got into a New Year's bowl game. So I mean, hey, Brian Kelly doing work his first year. Chance to win this one.
Purdue is sneaky.
Yeah,
Purdue is sneaky. I know they weren't able to take down Michigan, but they were in that game for a lot of it.
We'll say this: no Jeff Brom, because Jeff Brom is going back to Louisville. So
yeah,
coach. So that'll be interesting to see for sure. Purdue without a coach right now, so may affect some things, but no, yeah, Purdue sneaky good. So
yeah,
for sure. And then finally, the Rose Bowl game: Penn State and Utah. Rose Bowl always beautiful. You know, the scenes, the pageantry, all of that, and this looks like it could be a very fun game. Utah, of course, just terrorizing USC to win the Pac-12 championship. Cam Rising's come on strong as of late, and then Penn State, you know, other than the loss to Ohio State and Michigan, have looked very good. This one, you know, could be a lot of fun and big for Utah. Lost last year to Ohio State in an instant classic of a game when Jackson Smith and Jigba went off. This year, Utah looking for redemption.
Yeah, no doubt. That should be a great game. Penn State had a very good year, losing to just Ohio State and Michigan State in very competitive. And Michigan in very competitive games. And Utah killing off Southern Cal. We love to see it. Cam Rising, think he's a great quarterback, and love what he brings to the table. So it should be a very fun game.
Yeah, for sure. Rose Bowl usually delivers every year. And January 9th, a week from then, will be the college football championship. I think you said you think Michigan and Georgia. I think it's probably going to be Michigan and Georgia too, and that could be a heck of a ball game between those two teams.
Yeah, it could. I mean, we saw them play last year, and it wasn't pretty, but I think this year will be more competitive. But I do still have Georgia coming out on top, forming a new dynasty. I mean, Georgia is, if they win this one, they're the new Alabama. I mean, they're going to start. They don't rebuild, they reload. So, you better get ready for it. Kirby Smart branching off from that Nick Saban coaching tree, and he's having some massive success.
Yeah, for sure, and that'd be huge for Georgia. Again, hadn't won a championship since 1980 before last year, and now could win two in a row. Which is big for Georgia. But again,
no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, which again, all four teams I think really do have a chance to win this. Ohio State probably won't shot them all, but you know, all four teams, if they get high, have a chance to win this championship. I think, you know, the committee got it right. I think, you know, Alabama is good at 5 right there since they were not up to the same par as they usually were. Right. So, I really do expect to be a fun playoff and probably Georgia coming out on top.
Yeah, I agree.
That does that for a bowl season. Quickly, I want to mention the FCS games because one of them was insanely wild last week between Sacramento State and Incarnate Word in the FCS playoffs. FCS, let me go back a week here. Last week, FCS playoffs, North Dakota State beat Sanford 27-9. That was pretty much expected. Montana State rolls over William & Mary 55-7. That is revenge for Gardner Webb. And then this one, Sacramento State and Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word wins 66-63.
What a game, man.
Lindsey Scott Jr. went 19-31 for 219 yards and 4 touchdowns. Cooper, the running back for Incarnate Word, had 22 carries, 176 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also had a receiving touchdown. Dunaway, the quarterback for Sac State, had to come in, went 19-32 for 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, but did throw 2 picks. Fulcher had 9 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown. Martin had 12 catches for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns. and Incarnate Word upset Sacramento State, giving their first loss of the year. What a freaking game.
Yeah. Absolute barn burner, man. I tried to stay up. I
I did
tried
too,
so
yeah.
hard, and I fell asleep, and I woke up at 3 a.m. with the ESPN Plus thing playing, saying your program has ended. And I looked at my phone and saw what I had missed, and I regretted it so hard. But what a freaking game! And we said it last year that the game, or last week, that the excuse me, this game could get crazy, and it definitely did.
Yeah. And on Saturday, Holy Cross and South Dakota State. Holy Cross was in this game to the fourth quarter. South Dakota State pulls away 42-21 to win. Heck of a year for Holy Cross. They definitely deserve that top 8 seed.
Yeah.
So games we have left, December 16th, Incarnate Word goes to North Dakota State. That should be a barn burner in the Fargo Dome.
Yep.
It'll be a lot of fun. And Montana State goes to South Dakota State. Big time, Big Sky versus Missouri Valley rivalry game there, and looking to try to get an All Dakota championship game on Briscoe on January 8th. Also, we'll mention the Celebration Bowl. Jackson State and North Carolina Central is on this Saturday. Of course, Jackson State without Deion Sanders, but North Carolina Central, they came on strong at the end of the year, so it'll be interesting to see what Jackson State does while those players transferring as well. So that'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, should be a good one. We'll see if Deion can come out on top. He said he's got unfinished business, so we'll see if he can do it.
Yep. And then D2 National Championship and D3 National Championship are set. D3 National Championships December 16th is Mount Union and North Central. I think I mentioned North Central, that crazy offensive stat, how many points they've scored. They won last week over Mary Hardin Baylor 49-14, so they're still rolling. Mount Union, of course, is a national powerhouse. They had to stop Wartburg before they get into the field goal range in a crazy game, so that'll be a fun one. And December 17th, Colorado School of Mines and Ferris State. Colorado School of Mines rolled over Shepherd by a big margin. I think it was it was 35-0 at one point in that game, and then Ferris State held off West Florida late to win that one. School of Mines in Golden, Colorado, and they have one of the most beautiful stadiums of all time. I just want to mention that.
Yeah.
Want to go there for sure. But I know this one in McKinney, Texas, so a lot of fun.
And did Ferris State? Did they play in the game, the national championship last year? Or did they win it last year?
Yeah, Ferris State won it last year. They beat Valdosta State last year.
That's right.
So Ferris State, defending national champions, looking for a second straight national championship. Should be a fun one.
Division 2, the best division of them all.
There you go. Absolutely.
Amazing.
So, yeah, we're going to close this out because we're getting kind of long once again. But, yeah, that's really what's going on. Probably going to be our last one before Christmas.
Yeah.
Imagine I'm going to Las Vegas this weekend, so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
LCU basketball, so it'll be a lot of fun there. Hopefully, I come back with money. So I'll be out there, and then of course get on a plane to go back home for Christmas later. So probably won't have a lot of time to record another episode. But if this is it, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Thank y'all for tuning in. Waff, got anything you want to leave with?
Yeah, let me leave with 2 things. Just want to mention Louisville and Florida State played basketball.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. They played each other.
And Florida State coming in at 1-9. Louisville was 0-8. Louisville's now 0-9. They lost by like almost 20. They're so bad. It's ridiculous. The game was tough to watch. I tried to watch as much as I could before I had to gouge my eyes out, but not great. I also want to mention Queens University has made the jump from D2 up to D1, and they're currently 8-2, which is they haven't played a conference game yet, but they're first in the ASUN. Like they've made the transition to D1 seamlessly. They were a dang good D2 basketball team. Yeah, and they've made the transition to D1, and they're killing it right now. So shout out to Queens.
Yeah, Queens knocked off High Point, who has been probably going to be who could be in the mix for the Big South Championship this year. So that's big for Queens. I also beat Marshall this year, and Marshall's done really well. Yeah, Louisville plays Western Kentucky, FAMU, and Lipscomb before NC State and Kentucky. So basically before starting conference play. They might beat FAMU. And that's a big might because Lipscomb can shoot threes like crazy, and West Kentucky, I think, is pretty good still. So, yeah, not looking good for Louisville. Also, Clemson basketball lost by 18 to Loyola Chicago, so Clemson's winning the Orange Bowl. Just want to mention that.
It's true. It's true, you know.
There you go. The big loss. There you go. Clemson, big bad basketball loss all around the world.
South Carolina struggled with 2-9 Presbyterian.
That's good.
That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Clemson does play the same day as the Orange Bowl. Clemson plays NC State in basketball, so that will determine if Clemson wins the Orange Bowl or not. They play at 4:00, so whoever wins that game, well, if NC State wins, Clemson's winning the Orange Bowl. Clemson wins, Clemson's losing the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. Louisville and Cal are the only winless teams in men's Division I basketball. So a combined 0-20.
God.
So there's that.
We need to have at the end of the year just Louisville, Cal, Florida State, and Boston College all play each other in a Final Four of just horrible. So
yeah, if you're a Louisville diehard or a Cal diehard basketball fan or a friend or a loved one of them, please hug them because they need it. They need all your love and support this holiday season. So
yeah, Louisville, Boston College, and Florida State need to play their own little tournament at the ACC tournament, and whoever's supposed to play them, y'all just get buys. Y'all we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And then also Houston lost this weekend. Mentioned that. So new number 1 is Purdue.
Undefeated Purdue.
Virginia's undefeated. They're 2 seed. And then UConn at 3. They've looked really well this year as UConn. So
yeah.
We're going on basketball for sure in that. Yeah. So we'll be back with more of that, more basketball, football talk. We'll probably come back with a roundup of the college football season and all the bowl games and such. And when we return, so Merry Christmas. Hope y'all enjoy it.